94%. Chapter 281 Shocking Harvest, Opening to 800 Year. A total of more than 126,200 purple air spirit coins. This is equivalent to more than 1.26 billion ordinary spirit coins. Li Yu's face was full of smiles. Purple spirit coin. He had only heard of the daimyo, never seen it. Even the Yuanwu 8th stage's stepping empty path expert that he beheaded before. There are also no purple spirit coins in the storage ring. I don't know if I didn't get it. Still exhausted. This purple spirit coin. The benefits for practice are definitely far more than ordinary spirit coins. He moved his eyes away from the hill of Zichi spirit coin. Look at the rest. There are also 5 Zichi spirit stones. Li Yu's eyes lit up again. Zichi spirit stones. It is the main material for casting purple air spirit coins. Certainly. Except for Zichi spirit stones. 950. Meat fields from the God transformation realm are also required. Just a glance. Not far away, he saw a purple radiant meat field exuding an astonishing aura. It was like a group of purple jade floating in the air. Crystal clear and dazzling. It doesn't have the bloody smell of ordinary meat field at all. Cut off a random piece, it is estimated that it will be scooped up to make beautiful jade. Divine transformation meat fields. Li Yu smiled even wider. The value of this meat field. That was astonishing. He learned from the memory of Takong Daoyuan Wu Tianjin. There are 2 divine transformation venerables in the entire stepping path. But there is only one divine transformation meat field. This kind of meat field is too precious. Requires not only divine transformation xenomorphs, but also living divine transformation demonic beasts. Demonic beasts capable of reaching the God transformation realm. They are basically at the level of divine beasts, with monstrous strength, each with their own supernatural talent and supernatural power. Want to catch alive. Same rank is basically impossible. Unless the divine transformation middle stage, it is possible to catch the demonic beasts of the divine transformation early stage. And once the divine transformation demonic beasts know that you will give it to the divine transformation to devour it and become a meat field. Definitely will blow itself up at the last minute. Therefore, divine transformation meat fields are extremely precious. There are 2 orthodoxies of divine transformation venerable in Takong Dao, so I managed to get one. Many of the others have only one divine transformation venerable lineage. There is no divine transformation meat field available at all. And there is no divine transformation meat field for practice. It is conceivable that the speed of cultivation is slow. He continued to glance at the rest of the storage ring. Divine Transformation Spirit Treasure, 7-star Excalibur. Divine Transformation Spirit Treasure, a treasure hunting lamp. Nascent Soul Realms magic treasures are more than 20 pieces. A spirit gathering formation at the Divine Transformation level. There are more than 10 formations at the Nascent Soul level. This is, the Divine Transformation Venerable is a good thing for practicing the Ju Dao pill. There are also a large number of other Divine Transformation Spirit materials, Nascent Soul Treasure materials, Divine Transformation Spirit mines, and Nascent Soul Treasure mines. Li Yu's eyes narrowed with a smile. This time the harvest was too great. More than 120,000 purple air coins. 5 Zichi Spirit stones. A Divine Transformation meat field with about 1,000 years left. 2 Divine Transformation treasures. A large array of Divine Transformation. A bottle of 4 9 Dao pills. And a whole lot of other miscellaneous stuff. It all adds up. He thinks it may be more than 400,000 purple air spirit coins. That is more than 4 billion ordinary spirit coins. It is more than all the wealth of his entire Dajin. As expected of Divine Transformation Venerable, it is rich. His heart was full of joy. Subsequently, he couldn't wait, and opened the other storage ring. More than 92,000 purple spirit coins. 6 purple spirit stones. A Divine Transformation meat field with more than 600 years of life left. A bottle of 12 Divine Power Venerables used for cultivation of the Divine Soul Pill. There are many other miscellaneous things. It is definitely worth more than 300,000 purple air spirit coins. He was all smiles. Not only that, he waved again. 3 treasures appeared in the air, suppressed by the huge true essence. A purple divine bead, a small purple spear, and an ancient golden spear. This is the treasure that the 2 venerables use in their daily lives. The purple divine bead and the purple spear are both Divine Transformation Spirit treasures. The golden ancient spear is divine armament. This is not the divine armament as it is called, but the real divine armament. A soldier of the gods imbued with the power of the venerable. Just these 3 spirit treasures. It must be worth more than 200,000 purple spirit coins. Compared with the 2 divine transformation spirit treasures in Zhe Qingtian's storage ring, the aura is much stronger. Obviously all excellent. Call. Besides, pieces of spirit fragments also emerged. A full $18. Each piece is like the most exquisite precious jade, shining brightly. These 18 soul fragments are the real treasures. Even for divine transformation venerable, it can greatly improve their cultivation base. For practitioners under divine transformation, it is a peerless treasure. Li Yu murmured, with a smile on her face. It has not opened for 10 years. Open to 800 year. A lot of resources sent by these 2 night goblin venerables. It is enough for Dajin to work hard, without any worries, to develop again for 100 years. After all, these wealth add up. But it's almost close to millions of purple air spirit coins. That is tens of billions of ordinary spirit coins. The treasury of one dynasty only has tens of millions of spiritual coins. Tens of billions of spiritual coins, how amazing. Let Dajin go all out to develop 100 year, there is no problem at all. He put away everything in front of him. The smile on his face also slowly faded. This time, beheaded a divine transformation venerable and a divine power venerable of the night demons. He didn't believe that the night demons would be silent. This is a very strong alien race. According to Takong Daoyuan Wu Tianjin's memory, the night demons are among the top 20 tribes ranked 5.5 on the battlefield of 100 clans. There are many divine transformation and venerable in the clan. There is also a large venerable of the divine transformation middle stage sitting in the town, with overwhelming power. Divine transformation early stage. Then in the spiritual realm, a special method can be inspired to temporarily burst out the strength of the half-step God transformation realm. What about the big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage? Wouldn't it be able to temporarily burst out the real strength of divine transformation venerable? Although Li Yu is confident. But they are not so arrogant yet. Now, they can confront the real divine transformation venerable. That weight exists. Once the blow fell, it surpassed the power of 1,500 mountains. No matter how strong his eyebrows are, his eyes are as strong as the sky. It is far from being able to resist. Only by letting Li Daosu and others condense all the 7 souls, can we barely save our lives. His heart was awe-inspiring, and his face was serious. 94%. Chapter 282. 2 years later, great changes. The sun rises and the moon sets. Spring comes after winter. The wheel of time rolls by, grass grows and warblers fly on the ground, and then it is covered with snow in a blink of an eye, everything is hidden deep. 2 years later, the sky and the earth are covered with snow, and the cold wind in the north roars like a tiger, blowing across the river north and south. Early in the morning in Wangchungyang, many cleaners were cleaning the snow with big brooms. Pedestrians on the street rubbed their hands, sighed whitely, wore cotton clothes, shrunk their necks, and hurried to work. There are also practitioners with swords on their backs, who are not afraid of the severe cold, still wearing short clothes and showing strong arms. And in some big families, the cultivator stepped on the flying sword, driving the spell to clean up the snow. Not long, the winter sun rises from the east, making the cold retreat a little. Number 78, Ping'an Lane. This is an antique courtyard with 3 entrances. There are blue tiles and green walls at the entrance, and there are 2 dragon statues lying on the ground, looking a bit lazy. Master, are you still going to Chunyu Tower 21 to listen to music today? The charming maid asked while dressing Li Yu. Next to him, another maid got up from the bed, her whole body was white and frightening. Li Yu responded casually. He stretched out his hand and gently placed it on the maid, causing her face to blush. There are 3 poles in the sun. Li Yu walked out of the yard with her 2 maids, a Qing and Qing Lian, and got into a carriage to go to Chunfeng building. 2 years ago, he moved out of the palace. Living with the children, it is still not easy to let go. So he directly bought a courtyard in this quiet place in Yangdu. The yard is not big, but he lives with a few maids, which is completely enough. The carriage creaked and creaked. The horses pulling the cart are all white, with horns on their foreheads, looking bright and looking extremely energetic. The carriages are also extremely exquisite, causing the carriages of many rich and noble families to give way in a hurry. Morning, Mr. Li. Is Master Li going to Chunfeng Tower to listen to music again? I heard that Chunfeng building has selected a new Oran, Miss Shangshang, and that singing is truly outstanding. Many people along the way laughed and talked to Li Yu, who opened the curtains of the carriage. 2 years. Li Yu often goes to Chunfeng Tower in a carriage. Come and go. I am also familiar with many people on this road. In the past 2 years, he has also returned to ordinary life, thinking that this kind of life is better. He treats ordinary people equally. After all, he comes from a world where everyone is equal. Even if he has been in this world for more than 10 years, it is impossible to change his worldview. Miss Shangshang's singing skills are really good. When will Lao Lu go to listen to it? Li Yu also smiled and greeted a rich old man. I'm afraid no one will know. He is the patriarch of the Dajin dynasty, who beheaded a real god 2 years ago. If you invite Miss Shangshang to sing, you have to pay spirit coins, so I can't afford it. The rich old man shook his head and laughed, and walked away with a folding fan in his hand. Go halfway. The carriage stopped. The maid Ah Ching got out of the carriage, went to an antique shop next to her and bought 3 breakfasts. Breakfast is simple. Soy milk with deep-fried dough sticks, and a bowl of sweet tofu now. Li Yu likes the sweetest tofu now. He felt that all salt parties were heresies. After breakfast, the carriage swayed and arrived at Chunfeng Tower. After listening to the music in the Chunfeng building all morning, after lunch, the 3 master and servant went to the tea house to drink tea. After drinking tea and listening to the storytelling, I went back to Chunfeng building to listen to the music. It was getting dark slowly. After dinner, he reboarded the carriage and returned to the own yard. Then they brought in the maids Ah Ching and Qing Lian, plus the former Empress Dowager Bai Qingling, Dong Qingqing, Zixuan true monarch children. We played games together in the room. For a while, various sounds filled the small courtyard. However, the courtyard was enveloped by its own formation, and the sound could not be heard. So all had fun. The watchman rang the clapper on the 3rd watch. Accompanied by the sound of, "Be careful of the candle," the whole Wang Chungyang was completely quiet. The bright moon hangs high in the sky, shedding a lot of the power of the lunar moonlight. A practitioner has already sat in the lotus position, absorbing the moonlight and practicing. Today is December 15th, and the Dajin dynasty is on the 15th of each month, when the bright moon is at its fullest. All of them will open the Taiyan divine formation, attracting a large amount of Taiyan power, covering the whole city. The power of Taiyan is extremely refined and pure, which is of great benefit to practice. No one will waste the great practice event on the 15th of each month. The 15th day of every month is also the quietest time in every month, in the entire Yangdu night. If you look down from the sky, we'll find out. There are several places where the power of the moonlight is particularly strong. The Royal Palace, Badao Wangfu, Zhenjiang Wangfu, Juxiao Wangfu, Hanhai Wangfu, Zishan Wangfu, Xinglua Wangfu, Princess Juya, Shen Wangfu, etc. And besides that, among the military camps to the north and west of the capital, the power of the moonlight is the strongest. These 2 barracks, they were all shrouded in an extremely terrifying billowing evil spirit. If it weren't for the mysterious power of the lunar moonlight, I'm afraid it wouldn't be able to penetrate it. The terrifying killing intent of the 2 barracks has condensed into a blood-colored killing intent light beam, standing tall in the sky. Seen from Yangdu, you can see 2 bloody sky pillars. This kind of scene is extremely terrifying. It also made many other visitors from the spiritual realm who were not under Dajin's control feel extremely odd. These 2 years, Dajin has incorporated the 9 true spiritual realm, 3rd stage spiritual realm, 100 flowers spiritual realm, Tianan spiritual realm, and Zhenggu spiritual realm into its territory. But except for the 9 true spirit realm, there are still large groups of resistance forces in the other 4 major spiritual realms. From time to time, various rebellions will be set off. There are even monster races mixed in, rushing out from the wild mountains from time to time, controlling the monster clouds, and devouring the human race. There are also some alien races hiding in it, playing various conspiracies and tricks. To this end, Dajin set up the Monster Slaying Division and Different Elimination Division to deal with monsters and aliens. 2 years. The rise of the titles of Monster Slayer and Alien Eliminator has made countless monster and alien races fear. Especially the name of Li Zia, the head of the Demon Slayer Division. And the name of the head of the Department of Elimination of Differences, Goddess Fog Eyes. It made the nascent soul big monster and the Yuanwu aliens even more terrified and terrified. 95%. Chapter 283 The Strength Soars, Tian Chong Demon God. Suddenly, an astonishingly terrifying aura rushed out from the Overlord Sword Mansion. This momentum is like the might of the sky, instantly sweeping all directions. I don't know how many people woke up from the deep level of practice and looked at Ba Dao Wang's mansion in horror. This momentum is too strong. The bright moon on the sky seems to be overshadowed. A large amount of the power of lunar moonlight was drawn, falling madly in Ba Saber King's mansion. The entire tyrannical sword mansion became translucent white, like Guanghan Immortal Palace. Inside the palace, Li Daosu opened his eyes. He looked at the direction of Ba Dao Wang mansion with some joy, and whispered to himself. Third sister is indeed the one with the highest cultivation talent among us brothers and sisters. I have just reached the 6th floor of the Seven Souls realm, condensing the central demon god. Third sister has already advanced to the 7th level of the Seven Soul realm, condensing the last soul of the Seven Soul realm, and the sky is against the demon god. 2 years passed. His aura also became more majestic. Wearing a dragon robe, a crown on his head, and a tall and straight body, he really looks like a supreme emperor who can suppress the world. Although the eyes are calm, there is a domineering air from time to time. That is in charge of a dynasty. The arrogance developed by controlling the 6 spiritual realms. Li Yu doesn't care. Li Du Ryong is in charge of intelligence, and Li Deyan is in charge of the military. Nor will there be any political disagreement with him. So in the entire Dajin dynasty, he was a 9 cauldrons, and his domineering nature naturally grew. This is what Li Yu did. 1 is fate, 2 is luck, 3 is physique, 4 is accumulation of yin virtue, and 5 is reading. The way of the dynasty is the way of luck. And he is the patriarch of the dynasty, and he only cultivates part of the way of luck. The eldest son Li Daosu is the king of the dynasty, but he majors in the way of luck. With the Dajin dynasty, luck became stronger. In Dajin dynasty realm, the strength that Li Daosu can display is extremely terrifying. Ordinarily, when nascent soul and Yuan Wu Tianjin came to the Dajin dynasty, he could easily suppress them. In the small courtyard, Li Yu put on a piece of clothing, walked out of the room, and looked towards Ba Dao Wang's mansion, with a dumb smile on her face. Feeling the Taizan natural divine chapter true essence, surging in the body. As well as the condensed Tianchong demon god, he was also very happy in his heart. The 7th floor of the Seven Souls realm. Start from this moment. He wears cultivation base. Even if he has reached the late stage of the Seven Soul realm, he is actually 5 phoenixes up. It's not far from realm, the king of the 3 souls realm. As for the strength, compared with 2 years ago, it is already not what it used to be, and it is much stronger. Base attack power. It has reached the strength of 24 mountains. With 19 times the attack power. With 1 strike, there will be 450 mountains of power. This is completely comparable to the old monster in the half-step god transformation realm world. Back then, the divine transformation and venerable of the 2 night demons stimulated the divine blood in their bodies, and the power they erupted was nothing more than that. At that time, he also needs to activate the strongest whole card, the real dragon eye between eyebrows, in order to kill him. And now, if we meet again, he only needs to stop the 2 of them, and he can burn the blood of the 2 of them, beheading them with ease. Compared with 2 years ago, the strength is not the same. Even at this time, if he casts the power of heaven plus the supernatural power that cuts him apart, the attack power can reach about 670 mountains. Such a terrorist attack power. Half-step divine transformation has been surpassed. It is comparable to the power of the real dragon and sky eye that he displayed back then. The promotion of the sons and daughters let his strength improve too much. It also made him relax a lot, but still quite dignified. After all, night demons have a large venerable of divine transformation middle stage. That kind of existence, maybe within the spiritual realm, the mighty power of the real god transformation realm can be erupted. Right now even if the ultimate whole card is played, there is a high probability that it will still be no match. Daoyan has condensed Tianchong demon god, Dao Su and others, and they should all be promoted within a few months. He whispered to himself, the lake of refining has refined your aptitude. There is also such a treasure as the Juling treasure tree. The speed of practice of Li Daosu and others has reached an extremely terrifying level. This is still the situation where the Taizan natural god chapter keeps absorbing various martial arts cultivation techniques, and the difficulty keeps increasing. If you practice ordinary cultivation technique, I am afraid that the martial Dao seeds have already condensed and reached the Yuanwu realm. But Li Yu would not choose to be so greedy. Since ancient times, among those legendary great emperors, no one has ever been a quick success. There are even a few great emperors Practice is extremely slow, far surpassed by peers. But step by step, he finally ascended to the position of great emperor, swept away all enemies, and suppressed the ancient, modern and future. Quote. It's time to get rid of those old monsters, he whispered to himself with a calm expression. The night demons have lost a divine transformation venerable, a divine power venerable, how can there be no action? Although there is no more divine transformation venerable coming. At that time, 2 half-step divine transformation old monsters were sent here. Each hides outside the territory of the Dajin dynasty, cultivates some forces, and makes trouble for Dajin. He even attacked and killed Li Zimo once. It's just that it is in the spiritual realm. With Li Zimo's strength, although he did not succeed in counter-killing. But he was not successfully attacked by the opponent. And these 2 old monsters rarely step into the spiritual domain. They are all in the wild mountains. Li Yu ignored it. After all, although his strength is strong, he may not be able to suppress and kill half-step divine transformation bosses outside the spiritual domain. And one can't suppress and kill. It will startle the snake. It will be much more difficult to find the other party next time. Good kings, and now. The strength has improved again. Plus not too long ago. He finally completed the task of capturing 3 more spiritual domains. And the survival system is still generous. Amazing rewards were given. Recalling the information popped up by the survival system, Li Yu smiled slightly. That reward is too generous. Let his strength improve a lot. That's why he has the grasp to kill half-step divine transformation monsters outside the spiritual domain. Boss of half-step divine transformation. In addition to those sent by the night demons, there are also people from the Takong Road. The demon clan also has them. This time, I will wipe out all of you and completely wipe out everything in Dajin. Without these divine transformation bosses attacking behind me, I can still improve my Dajin Chi luck. His eyes flashed. He went back to sleep with a few maids in his arms. 95%. Chapter 284 The Giant City of the Monster Clan, besieged by 2 monster kings. Moyan Mountain. This was originally an inconspicuous mountain in the wild mountains. There are countless mountains like this in Mangwang, so it is not unusual. But since 2 years ago, after an old monster named Seven-Headed Demon Monarch came, this place became a well-known holy place for the demon clan. Among the wild mountains, there are countless monsters. The 7-headed demon king often preaches in Moyan Mountain, attracting a large number of demon clans to listen. For a while, there are countless demons and ghosts in the whole Moyan Mountain, and the monster chi soars into the sky. There are also many great demons who directly train the demon house under the order of the 7-headed demon monarch. These Yaozu. From time to time, he would go to some mortal domains, break down the city and arrest people, and cook the human race's blood. Even sometimes, they rushed into the territory of the Dajin dynasty and plundered the human race. It attracted the strong men of the Dajin dynasty to besiege and kill them. But there are old monsters like the 7-headed demon king sitting in the town. Dajin was also unable to break out of the spiritual realm and leveled Moyan Mountain. We can only speed up, take down the surrounding mortal domains, and move the population to the spiritual domain. At the foot of Moyan Mountain, there is a huge demon city. This is Moyan City. There are a large number of monsters practicing in the demon city, and there are also captured humans hiding in the corner tremblingly. From time to time, there was a flash of light, and 977 came from outside. Those who can control the flight of light escape are all big monsters. Among the Yaozu, those who can be called big monsters are all monster core realms. And the Yao clan of the Purple Mansion realm is called the Demon King. The Demon Baby realm is naturally the Demon King. This day, a ray of light came across the sky from a distant place, and after a flash, it appeared under the gate of Weiyan City. The light faded away. Li Yu's figure was revealed. He was dressed in black, with black hair draped over his shoulders, looking at the Moyan City in front of him, which was smelling fishy and where monster chi was soaring into the sky. The city gate is more than 30 feet high. Several big monsters with elephant heads and human bodies stood at the gate of the city ferociously. His eyes swept over the large number of monsters coming in and out. In 2 years, such a demon city has risen. Li Yu looked indifferent and whispered to herself. Here, it is located in the north of Tiananlingyu, about 3 million miles away. The demon clan in this demon city often harass Tiananlingyu. However, there are many great masters. It is very difficult for these monster races to enter Tiananlingyu. But the seven-headed demon monarch behind the demon city has never stepped into the spiritual domain for half a step, CBCD. His eyes sparkled. Look at those monsters who come in and out. Immediately. Then I saw a lot of human grievances wrapped around all the monster races. That was the manifestation of a large amount of human blood stained on his hands. Li Yu saw it. His complexion suddenly became a little colder. Kill my human race, I will be punished. He gently reached out. Suddenly, a large amount of saber energy emerged out of thin air, before those monster races could react. They rushed directly, and the walls of the entire demon city collapsed. Thousands of monsters screamed without a sound, all turned into fly ash and dissipated. Among them, there are many demon kings comparable to true monarch and kings. But in front of Li Yu, it is similar to ants, which can be destroyed easily. He walked step by step into the smoke and dust, into the cause of the demon city. Whenever a monster race appeared in front of him, with a wave of his hand, a large amount of saber energy would sweep through and chop everything into pieces. Especially when I saw some demon clans holding a human banquet, when they were scrambling their hearts and lungs. Anger ignited in his heart, and the sword energy filled the sky to kill all the monsters he saw. Snort. How dare a fellow Taoist step out of the spiritual realm? At this time, a black water light swept out, covering hundreds of miles in a blink of an eye. Directly annihilate Li Yu's overwhelming saber energy. The faces of some monsters who escaped from death were pale, and they fled to the distance in a panic. I will kill you today. Li Yu's black hair flew up, her eyes were cold, and she looked at the hunchbacked old man who appeared out of nowhere. The old man's back was raised high, holding a silver cane in his hand, his face was gloomy, and his eyes were green. There are black waves behind it. When the water waves rushed up, a giant snake with 7 heads could be seen riding the wind and waves. On the top of each head of the giant snake, there are sarcoma protruding, and 4 claws are borne under the abdomen. Obviously it has turned into the genus of Jiaolong. And it is also a heterogeneous species with 7 heads. Giggle. The fellow Taoist is really good at talking big. My concubine is here, I don't know if fellow Taoist can be counted. Suddenly, a sweet laugh came. A beautiful woman in a pink dress came slowly from the south. The beautiful woman covered her mouth and smiled lightly, her eyes rolled, she was extremely charming. Many monsters who fled far away just looked back, and then became dazed, standing still with smirks. Many of them include the Demon King of the Purple Mansion realm. It's a good time to come. Save me another trip to Tianyu City. Li Yu's complexion didn't change much, she said lightly. This time, 2 half-step divine transformation old monsters from the Yaozu came around Dajin. The old monster of the monster clan. Obviously attracted by the treasure tree of gathering spirits. However, as a monster, he must have also received the news that the Night Demon Divine Transformation Venerable and the Divine Power Venerable were beheaded by him in the spiritual realm. So never enter the spiritual realm. They are all outside the spiritual realm, building a demon city. Tianyu City. It is outside Zhengulingyu. The 2 half-step divine transformation old monsters have gathered a large number of monster clans in the wild mountains, which is a great disaster. The fellow Taoist is really confident. Hu Ling's eyes flashed, and he smiled coquettishly. It's just that her voice just fell. Li Yu suddenly traversed the sky and appeared in front of him in an instant. His face was icy cold, and a black magic knife appeared in his hand at some point. The magic knife is clear. Just showed up. There was an indescribably terrifying sword intent covering the sky, as if it wanted to tear apart the universe. Hu Ling changed color. There was a look of horror on her face, and her eyes instantly became blurred. The scene in front of Li Yu suddenly changed. A large number of beautiful dancers dressed in light gauze danced around, smiling and groaning, wanting to refuse and welcome. Fox Clan illusion art. Li Yu's face remained unchanged. The real dragon's eyes between the eyebrows opened a little. A ray of golden divine light shot out, and suddenly all the illusions were shattered, leaving nothing behind. And Hu Ling has retreated hundreds of miles. Gently stretching out her hand, the spirit power of the world with a radius of thousands of miles is under her control. The infinite spirit power boiled, forming a torrent of divine fire, devouring Li Yu. The 9-headed demon monarch has also rushed over. The crutch in his hand is like a gigantic snake piercing through the sky, opening his mouth to devour Li Yu. The momentum of the 2 half-step divine transformations soared into the sky, shaking in all directions, and the mountains roared. 95%. Chapter 285 Slay the Demon King with a sword, and destroy the demon city. Snort. Only you guys want to surround and kill me. The corner of Li Yu's mouth revealed a mocking yet extremely cold expression. He has flying black hair and eyes like lightning. Stepping on the air with his right foot, purple mountains appeared one after another. The purple mountain is lifelike, with apes singing and tigers roaring, Shenshui waterfall, and even purple light. Boom! Zishan shattered all the divine fires that filled the sky. He turned the magic knife in his hand, slashed directly on the giant snake that swallowed it with its mouth. This moment, there was an astonishing murderous intent rushing out of his eyes. There was no cover for the magic knife in his hand, and he erupted with an unbelievable ferocity that was far stronger than before. Boom! The ferocious air surged up to the sky. The ferocious aura that soared into the sky condensed into a black dragon. The black dragon roared, broke away from the magic knife, and rushed towards Huling Yaojun in the distance. The body of the divine knife collided with the giant snake. Boom! There was a loud bang. The swallowing giant snake was cut in half in an instant, just like a knife cutting butter, no matter how many thousands. The complexion of the seven-headed demon monarch changed drastically. The whole body seemed to be struck by a thunderbolt, and it retreated violently in fear. The crutch in his hand had been split in two. Even his right hand holding the crutch was bloody at the moment, and a knife wound was deep enough to show the bone. Wait for realm at his side. According to reason, this kind of physical injury can be healed as long as the demon power is turned. But at this moment, even though the monster power in his body was crazily washed away, he still couldn't get rid of the saber energy remaining on the wound. This knife is terrifying. Fellow Taoists must be careful. He reminded Hu Ling and fixed his eyes on Li Yu. The whole body swelled suddenly, directly turning into a seven-headed giant snake with a height of tens of feet. The giant snake was completely black, with 7 hideous heads, standing like a small mountain. The snake's body coiled together, and an extremely terrifying murderous aura erupted, breaking through the clouds. Roar! The 7-headed monster roared. A black light erupted from one of the heads. A roll of light. Thousands of monster races have been covered, their flesh and bones have been wiped out, and their demon souls have been shattered. The light then retracted and was swallowed by him. Immediately, the aura of the 7-headed monster rose sharply. Without any hesitation, all 7 heads shot out amazing black divine light, rushing towards Li Yu. At the same time, the mountain-like snake tail also smashed towards Li Yu. The other side, Hu Ling once again controlled the spirit power of heaven and earth, condensed infinite divine fire, and collided with the black dragon from Zonglai. But the black dragon is ferocious, and wherever it passes, the divine fire is all extinguished. This made Hu Ling keep changing color and backing away. Cut you first, and then that coquettish fox. Li Yu's face was indifferent, looking at the huge snake tail that hit him. He stood in the air. Compared with the snake tail, it was like an ant watching a mountain topple down. But the strength and weakness in the world have never been a comparison of size. A grain of dust can fill the ocean, a blade of grass can crush star. Boom! The black magic knife in his hand cut out again. The vast death energy rushed out from under the earth, turning into a terrifying dead mountain. This time, the dead mountain appeared at the foot of Li Yu. He directly merged with the black-robed god of death on the dead mountain. The terrifying meaning of death sweeps thousands of miles. Where the meaning of death has passed. But all Yaozu. No matter what cultivation base. All of them froze, despair appeared on their faces, and their demon souls shattered. This moment, the 7-headed monster's scalp was numb, and his heart frantically warned. Danger. Big danger. But at this time the arrow has been shot, how can it be retracted? All 7 of his heads gritted their teeth, and suddenly spewed out a large cloud of black mist. The black mist comes first. It merged with the divine light before that. It directly turns into a gorgeous colorful divine light. This divine light is too magnificent and too coquettish. The mountains and rivers of the earth, just stained with a ray of divine light, withered instantly and scattered with the wind. This is the strongest method of the 7-headed demon monarch. With talent, supernatural power and self-union internal toxin, even if it is divine transformation venerable, even if it is a defenseless attack, it will be severely injured. But Li Yu has no expression on his face. The sword in his hand swung down. An unimaginably monstrous death energy burst out from the dead mountain beneath his feet. The dead air melted into the light of the knife. The light of the knife was pale, without a trace of color. The whole world seemed to turn into black and white. The colorful divine light was cut by the knife light, and it also instantly turned into black and white, lifeless, and disappeared. Asking for flowers. The light of the knife cut through the divine light, and landed on the huge snake tail used for it. The entire tail of the snake suddenly turned gray at a speed visible to the naked eye, and then stretched wildly. What is this saber technique? The seven-headed demon lord felt that own snake tail had lost any vitality, nor had it any induction. Immediately horrified, the seven heads all showed fear. Without any hesitation, he directly cut off his tail to survive, spraying snake blood. And the whole snake body fled frantically in the opposite direction. He has figured it out. Even if he joins hands with Hu Ling, he is no match for this famous human race. The opponent is too strong. A broken tail won't save you. Li Yu was expressionless. 0. Cut it out again. It is still the second knife of death's 3 styles. The mountain of swords soared to the sky, stopped directly in front of the seven-headed demon king. And his body flashed, and he didn't know when he appeared on the mountain of knives. Deadly. The mountains of knives are like forests. The light of the knife flashed, and the whole body of the seven-headed monster was instantly cut through by a knife. No wounds, no blood, but this old monster who has lived for an unknown number of years has despair and unwillingness in his eyes. The demon soul in his body is shattered. Ah! I'm not reconciled. My ancestor, how could I fall here? One last word. All the breath on his body disappeared, and the huge corpse fell downward. Hu Ling, who saw this scene from a distance, also showed fear in his eyes. This human race is too strong. The information misled me. Without hesitation, she turned and fled. Can you escape? Li Yu's face was indifferent, and she chased and killed Hu Ling as soon as she stepped forward. At the same time, the black magic knife in his hand fell down, and the light of death's knife swept across. Fellow Taoists, spare my life! Hu Ling screamed, and his whole body instantly turned into hundreds of clones, fleeing in all directions. Seemingly real and illusory, seeming virtual and selling. A mere illusion art, showing off in front of me. Li Yu's face was still cold. His third eye opened slightly between his brows. Sweep across all Hu Ling clones. In an instant, Hu Ling's real body was locked, and he slashed through it. 96%. Chapter 286 Lord of the Fox Clan. 6 tails rising to the sky. Hu Ling's deity suddenly stopped. His eyes were full of bloodshot eyes and hatred. The 6 blood-red fox tails on the back all broke off and turned into 6 mountains, blocking her face. And her body swayed, fell to the ground, cast the earth escape technique, and disappeared. Boom. Death's knife light turned into thousands of evil mirrors, directly fixed the 6 huge fox tails, and then passed by one. The 6 fox tails suddenly turned from blood red to dead gray. Annihilated inch by inch, dissipated with the wind. It's a good decision to cut off the tail to survive. Still able to escape from the earth. Li Yu lowered her head and looked down. Her third eye between her brows was always slightly open. He can see clearly. Underground, Hu Ling happened to meet the stone piercing the gold, and headed towards the north at an extremely fast speed. The earth and rocks in the ground can't stop them at all, as if the two are in different spaces. 387. Unfortunately, in front of me, this kind of earth escape technique is of little use. He whispered to himself. Silently, behind him, the figure of Dejong Jinren appeared out of thin air. The fluctuation of space immediately enveloped him, and his whole body disappeared in an instant. And the next moment, he appeared directly underground, in front of Hu Ling. The surrounding soil and rocks are layered on top of each other, squeezed crazily. But he stands under the ground, his body is illusory, as if he is in another dimension. The figure of Dejong Jinren behind him shone with a strange light, covering the surroundings. Seeing Li Yu appear out of thin air, Hu Ling's body trembled, his face was pale, and he didn't even think about it. It directly turned into thousands of clones again, and fled frantically in all directions. Foxes are good at illusion art, and also good at evasion. Although the power of attack is not strong, but the ability to escape is extremely strong. But these are of no use in front of the real dragon sky eyes. Di Zhongjin was expressionless. The power of space fluctuates slightly. Li Yu's body flashed again, and suddenly appeared in front of a clone of Hu Ling. The black magic knife in his hand is faster than lightning, and it is a new one. A large number of evil mirrors emerged among the earth and rocks, shining the pale color of death. A terrifying aura suppressed the quartet. Immediately freeze Hu Ling for a moment. The next moment, the evil mirror is like a knife, passing directly and violently across her body. Old the ancestor will avenge me. The large number of clones in all directions dissipated immediately, leaving only the one in front of Li Yu with a face full of despair and resentment. Boom! A large amount of blood exploded from the whole body. A primordial spirit burst out suddenly with divine light, and fled to the distance. The boss of half-step divine transformation really has a variety of methods. Li Yu looked calm. With the assistance of Dizhong Jinren, his body flashed and appeared in front of this primordial spirit. The black magic knife cut down. The primordial spirit suddenly let out a scream. Ding Yin was broken. She stretched out her hand to capture Hu Ling's demon body and put it away. Li Yu's body flashed again, and she had already left the ground. In a large domain that is extremely far away from the scope of the Dajin dynasty. There are astonishing monsters soaring into the sky everywhere in this large domain, with mountains and ravines, and monster clouds rolling up from time to time. One after another, demon cities stand on the ground. Hundreds of millions of monster life, swallowing the spirit power of the world, absorbing the essence of the sun and the moon. Among some high mountains, there is even a peerless demon king sitting cross-legged, whistling in the mountains and forests. In a huge demon city covering an area of more than 500 miles, there is a tall tower. The tower has 18 floors, straight into the sky, and the white cloud is ethereal. The entire demon city is inhabited by countless foxes. At the moment, it is on the top floor of this tower. A graceful and luxurious beautiful woman suddenly opened her eyes. She was wearing a snow-white palace dress, her skin was as fair as the first snow, and the 3,000 blue colors were drooping, her charm was astonishing. Hu Ling has fallen. She slowly sat up on the bed. The original lazy temperament changed and became a little cold. There was also a bit of coldness in the winking eyes. But it returned to normal in a blink of an eye, and he waved his right hand lightly. Suddenly, a circle of light appeared in front of him, condensing into a mirror. The light on the circular mirror fluctuates, as if a picture is about to appear. But for some reason, it has been fluctuating, and the picture has never come out. Willow frowned. The beautiful woman waved her hand and scattered the circular light mirror. Celestial secrets are blurred and cannot be viewed at all. I don't know if it's because I'm special, if it's covered by a treasure, or if it's a pawn laid by a fellow Taoist. She whispered to herself. After thinking about it, she recruited a young girl who looked as cold as snow. There are 7 tails extending from the girl's back, straight as swords. Master. The girl knelt on the ground on one knee and said. There was no emotion in her voice, just like a sword. A stunning sword. Your junior sister Hu Ling has fallen. I want you to go there to avenge Yinyuan. The beautiful woman ordered. Yes. The girl's eyes didn't fluctuate at all. Even after hearing that the junior sister has fallen, it is still the same. Go to the treasury and get 10,000 thunder talismans, just in case. The beautiful woman said again. Then she waved her hand lightly, and the girl's figure disappeared immediately. The decisive battle of 100 Clans battlefield will be here soon. It's time to suppress the human race again. She whispered softly, her eyes spinning like a kaleidoscope. A nameless barren mountain. This barren mountain is no different from the peaks in all directions. Desolate, low, birds don't shit. Even some strange beasts without intelligence would not dig holes in this barren mountain. Here are the wild mountains, and the third stage spiritual realm is not far away. Call. Li Yu's figure appeared out of thin air. He looked down at the nameless barren mountain below. Just looking at it with the naked eye, there is no abnormality at all. It's like an ordinary desolate mountain. Such a barren hill. There are too many in the wild, too many to count. No one will care. 3,000 households of Jin Yue died while investigating this place. Li Yu whispered. 4.6 There was a flash of inspiration in his eyes. This is a new martial art practiced by his Li family in the past 2 years. Diva pupil. This martial art is extremely strange, or more like Taoism's supernatural power. And according to the introduction, this is actually a supernatural power simplified by a peerless powerhouse. By practicing this spiritual pupil, one can see through many illusions. Certainly, the effect is not as good as his real dragon eye. After all, the real dragon's sky eyes are actually the eyes of the real dragon. The supreme creature like the real dragon is a legendary creature. A pair of eyes are born with shocking power, and can see through all illusions. But although not as good as, but the effect of Diva Lingpu is not bad. As he opened his spiritual pupils, he immediately saw the ordinary barren hills below, covered by layers of formations. 96%. Chapter 287 Trap. Siege. How dare you spy on our clan formation? Suddenly, from the barren hills below that were shrouded in layers of formations, a cold voice came out. Then a purple stone spear pierced through. The astonishing power swept across, as if the space was going to be completely cavernous. This stone spear was faster than lightning, and it was already in front of Li Yu in just a flash. Li Yu looked calm. A picture scroll emerges under his feet. The picture scroll is black and white, just like Tai Chi. Black and white flowed, condensing into a Tai Chi diagram in front of him. The stone spear pierced the black and white Tai Chi picture. Suddenly stopped, unable to move forward. Good baby. Are you Li Yu, the patriarch of the Dajin dynasty? Several surprised voices sounded from below. Then the light flashed, and 5 figures appeared around Li Yu. Every figure is shining with purple light, and the divine feathers spread out behind them, bright and gorgeous. Her purple hair fluttered, and her eyes were full of surprise and seriousness. To surprise, Li Yu ran out of the spirit realm by herself. Dignified is because the opponent killed the divine transformation venerable in their 21 clans, and their strength is definitely not weak. 5 half-step divine transformation. Li Yu frowned, feeling a little surprised. According to the information given by Jin Yiwei, there are only 2 divine transformation monsters on the other side. Unexpectedly, it was far more than 2, but 5. But this is also within reason. The boss of half-step divine transformation had to hide, and it was impossible for Jin Yiwei to detect it clearly. Even he doubted it at this moment. The news Jin Yiwei got may have been specially given by these old monsters of the Night Demon clan. The purpose is to lure him out of the spiritual domain, and then surround and kill him. Ha ha ha. It was just a casual chess game, but unexpectedly it actually worked. An old monster of the Night Demon clan laughed loudly. This made Li Yu confirm her guess. Sure enough, the other party deliberately gave the news. How dare you ambush me with you few local chickens and dogs? He said. The black magic knife in his hand exudes an astonishing sword intent, like a heavenly knife flying across the sky. Complete the task of occupying more than 3 other spiritual domains. The system rewarded this magic knife. This is a real magic knife. It has reached the level of half-step God King, which belongs to the most extreme limit of the divine armament blade. There is even hope that it will truly become a God King weapon and suppress the world. This magic knife is extremely powerful. It's just that with his current strength, he still can't fully exert it. But even so, it also increased his strength a lot. And the reward for completing the task is far more than that. The Taiji diagram under his feet is one of the rewards for being the first to complete the occupy more than 3 other spiritual realms. If it is said that the magic knife is only the half-step God King grade, then this picture of Tai Chi, it is the real God King grade. God King is the ultimate treasure. As long as he stands under his feet, he is invincible. Unless the attack power far exceeds his limit, it can be broken. And what about the deity? A divine stone rushed out from the barren mountain again. A terrifying aura emerged from the divine stone, and the void trembled faintly. A stream of purple streamers swept across, the mountains roared, and the ancient trees trembled. The whole sky and the earth. The moment this divine stone appeared, it seemed to be frozen. The wind no longer blows. The cloud doesn't move anymore. Some frightened birds also froze in the air, motionless. Time seems to have stood still. Li Yu suddenly felt a shocking force of suppression appearing around him. This suppressive force swept towards him crazily, as if it wanted to directly suppress him to death. Thinking is like being affected by unpredictable, and it has become extremely slow. His complexion suddenly became dignified, and he looked at the divine stone. The god stone is in human form, holding a stone spear in his hand. A pair of eyes with bright purple pupils stared at him mercilessly. Divine transformation venerable. No, it's not the deity, it's the avatar. Li Yu made a sound, her expression still solemn. Although it's just an avatar. But the strength of the opponent's deity is obviously extremely strong. This avatar, it has already far exceeded the level of half-step divine transformation, and its strength is faintly about to enter the stage of real divine transformation. If it is converted by attack power, half-step divine transformation is about 500 mountains. The real divine transformation has at least 1,500 mountain strength. And at this moment, this divine stone avatar is around the power of 1,000 mountains. If you kill my family's divine transformation, you should think of today. After beheading you, the deity will let your children and grandchildren go down to accompany you. A family should be neat and tidy, and you will not be alone on the Yellow Springs Road. The God Stone avatar spoke, with a cold and heartless voice. The other 5 half-step divine transformation old monsters all showed ferocious smiles. At the same time, the rays of formation below shot up to the sky. A large piece of rune swept over, directly covering the whole world in a radius of thousands of miles. Apparently the night demons attached great importance to Li Yu. Not only sent 5 half-step divine transformations and 1 divine transformation avatar, but also laid a net. Li is quite honored. Just don't know your name. Li Yu glanced at the formation lights around her, and an astonishing force of restraint surged forth. However, they were all blocked by the black and white Tai Chi diagram outside him, so they couldn't affect him. I am Yubamo. The God Stone avatar spoke, and he looked at Li Yu with 650 eyes. You can kill my family divine transformation, even though it is in the spiritual realm. But it is also worthy of being the unrivaled powerhouse of the human race. The legendary young great emperor is in the spiritual realm, and that's it. My favorite is the genius who kills the race. Speaking of back. There was also a cold smile on his face. Night 100 Demons. The third Taishang elder of the Night Demons. Li Yu nodded. No wonder a clone can be so strong. It turned out to be this person. The God transformation realm is divided into 3 levels: front, middle and back. And actually, the front, middle and back 3 levels, even at the same level, the gap is not small. And this Night 100 Demons. It is an old monster who is only 1 step away from stepping into the middle stage of divine transformation. It is the peak existence of the early stage of divine transformation. The strength is astonishing. According to the information obtained from inquiries, this person is on the battlefield of hundreds of clans. Beheaded several human races divine transformation, extremely fierce. Brace yourselves and die. It also saves you from suffering. Yi Beimo said coldly. I just wanted to kill a few half-step divine transformation members of your night demons. I didn't expect to have a big fish like you. Even though it's a clone, it's a good harvest. Suddenly, a strange smile appeared on Li Yu's face. 96%. Chapter 288 Golden Jiao Scissors, cut in half. Complete the task of occupying more than 3 other spiritual domains. The regular reward is the black sword in his hand. Half-step God King level horror divine armament. And the first one to complete the task of occupy more than 3 other spiritual domains. In addition to rewarding the feat, the treasure of the God King level is the Taiji diagram of gods and demons. There is another treasure. That treasure is called Tianlong Scissors. Also a divine armament at the God King level. This treasure. It is imitated according to the Golden Jiao Scissors in myths and legends. It is refined from the corpses of 2 dragons from the God King realm, and it is unparalleled in politics. 1 attack and 1 defense with the Tai Chi diagram of gods and demons. With the combination of the 2, the old monsters in the late stage of divine transformation will be envious and jealous, and their eyes will turn red. God King treasure this is a legend in the great domain. At least among Bailing Deu and night demons. There is no such amazing treasure. Not even the Lingbao and divine armament of half-step God King realm. Yi Beimo heard the words. There was a sudden jump in my heart for no reason. In the dark, he felt a feeling of heart palpitations. I didn't dare to hesitate at all. His body moved 100 miles straight to the left. But he is fast. An astonishing golden light was even faster. The golden light roared, the heads were side by side like scissors, and the tails were mating like strands. They were really 2 golden flood dragons. Click. A gap was cut in the void, and it was extremely dark and terrifying. Snort. Yi Beimo snorted, and his right arm broke instantly. The incision was extremely smooth, without a trace of blood. He looked at the golden scissors flying back to Li Yu's hands in horror, and the hair all over his body stood on end. Terrible divine armament. The force of a cut is terrifying. Kill him. He couldn't keep the cold look on his face anymore, and shouted. At the same time, the purple ancient spear in his hand was shining brightly, turning into a ray of purple light, piercing directly towards Li Yu. Town. The 5 night demon bosses from half-step divine transformation also shouted angrily, their purple hair flying. The terrifying array rushing up from below was vast, sweeping across the world. The unparalleled purple brilliance is like layers of purple flames, covering the chest more and more. It's a pity that the Taiji diagram of gods and demons exudes black and white brilliance, which circulates continuously, blocking all gods from outside. The treasures rewarded by the survival system are all extremely miraculous. The cultivator can be powered by magic power. Practitioner can also be driven by real yuan. With the Taiji map of gods and demons standing under your feet, the sky is invincible. The purple ancient spear pierced to the front. The terrifying power of Qinshan's power erupted completely. This is already close to the monstrous power of the divine transformation level. One shot down. If there are no rules to suppress it, it will be easy to smash thousands of miles of rivers and mountains, and waves will destroy everything. If the stars in the sky are hit by one blow, they will be torn apart. But such a terrifying ancient spear pierced the Taiji diagram of gods and demons. But it just made the Taiji diagram of gods and demons sunk down, making it impossible to penetrate at all. This scene made Yi Beimo's pupils shrink suddenly, and he was horrified. How terrifying is his strike! But the human race in front of them, obviously not divine transformation, blocked it so easily. What level of treasure is that black and white scroll? And the golden scissors, what level of treasure is it? Send you on your way back. Quote, Li Yu whispered, with black hair and shawls, descending like an ancient god, with a transcendent temperament. His skin is shining, as if there is a divine light bursting out, giving people an extremely amazing feeling. Tianlongjian turned into golden light and flew out again. In a flash, it appeared on the neck of a night demon half-step divine transformation boss. There was a click. The space was cut open, and the old monster's neck was broken directly, and his head fell. The whole body suddenly fell limply. The soul was also cut into pieces along with the body. This is the horror of Tianlongjian. Although it is less than 1/1000th of the real treasure in myths and legends. But also absolutely terrifying. This scene made the hearts of the other 4 Night Demon clan monsters tremble, and their faces turned pale. The same race as them in strength died with a click. Such a horrible scene. How not to scare them? Even Yi Beimo, the divine transformation avatar, frowned in fear. After all, one of his arms was cut off. Sacrifice your bodies. He snarled. He looked at Tianlongjian and the black and white Tai Chi diagram with a somewhat blazing gaze. Treasure. Definitely 2 amazing treasures. If he gets it, the strength will definitely skyrocket, and it will become his strongest treasure to protect the Tao. With 2 treasures in hand, you can read them day and night, so you may have some hope of being promoted to the late stage of divine transformation. Think here. His heart was even hotter. Even if this avatar collapses, he must kill the opponent and take the treasure. Hear his orders. The bodies of the 4 Night Demon clan monsters trembled again, with despair on their faces. Sacrifice is death, but they dare not refuse. Sacrifice at this moment, and the opportunity of samsara. Divine transformation among the other races, and the day of memory awakening. But if you don't follow too much elder fury, they won't stand a chance against samsara. Boom. The 4 torches were instantly lit. The terrifying power soared to the sky, stirring up thousands of miles of wind and clouds. 4 beams of light rushed out of the torch and poured into Yi Beimo's avatar in an instant. Nourished by the body, soul, and source of the 4 half-step divine transformation kin. Yi Beimo's momentum rose sharply. Sacrificing the same race, really stepping into the god transformation realm world. Li Yu frowned, and waved a large amount of real energy into the Tianlong scissors. This Tianlong scissors is very powerful. After all, the God King is a treasure, which can be called peerless. But the real essence needed is also amazing. Fortunately, the Taizan Tianshengxian Zhang he cultivated has extremely strong true energy. It also gathered all the true essence of the family members into one. To drive this God King arcana. But usually drive, as long as 1/10 of the yuan is almost the same. But now the opponent is so ruthless that he directly asks 4 half-step divine transformation fellows to sacrifice. He naturally wants to increase the output, otherwise he might not be able to kill Li Laohao, this person. Boom. Thousands of miles of wind and cloud turmoil, the sky and the earth change color. Even from hundreds of thousands of miles away, one can see the astonishing changes that have taken place here. A purple beam of light is boundless and endless, straight to the sky. Such a scene is amazing. I don't know how many strange beasts, demonic beasts trembled, knelt on the ground and dared not move. Even some demon kings of the Purple Mansion realm were terrified and terrified. Human race. You can die in my hands, enough to be proud. Yubeimo's body was wrapped in a monstrous purple divine light, and his hair was flying. A pair of eyes stared at Li Yu, and a cruel smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. This moment, he has truly possessed the strength of divine transformation venerable. Enough to completely kill the human race in front of you. But, suddenly a bright golden light came across the sky, the speed was several times faster than before. The golden light swept across, the golden dragon roared, and cut directly from his body with a click. 97%. Chapter 289 Demon Cave, Coffin Woman. The heads are tied together like scissors, and the tails are mated like strands. The golden pair of flood dragons are sharp to a certain extent. A small crack tens of meters long opened in the void, and it has not healed for a long time. This is really like a golden lightning flashing across the sky. The void is torn open. Yubamo, who just reached the strength of divine transformation, also ripped from it. Well, Yubamo lowered his head in astonishment, looking at On's chest. A thin golden line slowly emerged there, and then turned into a dark and terrifying space crack. The breath on his body declined sharply. The lower body fell directly from the air, and the upper body fell into the pitch-black spatial crack. But Li Yu waved. A palm came across the sky, grabbing his upper body from the crack in space. At this time, the breath had completely dissipated, and there was no time to say a single unnecessary word. Tianlong cut it. The body is in two halves, the soul is shattered. Even if this divine stone avatar has reached the strength of the God transformation realm, it can't stop Tianlong's cutting force. As expected of a God King treasure. Li Yu's complexion was also a little pale. This cut. He injected more than 70% of his true essence. Including the two scissors he played before, there is only 10% of his true energy left on him. In fact, with the terrifying sharpness of Tianlong's scissors, 820 even if he only injects 10% of his true essence, he can cut Yubamo in half. But the premise is that it can be cut. He injected 60% more real energy, not to strengthen the power of Tianlongjian. It is to strengthen the speed of Tianlong's scissors. No matter how powerful the power is, it's useless if you can't cut it right. But looking at the half-body in his hand, a smile appeared on his face again. He waved his hand to put away the storage devices left by everyone, and took away the falling corpses. He falls to the ground again. He worked tirelessly to dig out that extremely powerful formation, and put it away happily. Turned around. After nothing more, he turned into light and disappeared. There is only one barren mountain that has been razed to the ground. 3 days later, in a dense jungle, he beheaded a half-step divine transformation boss sent by Takong Road. 9 days later, he split the manatee half-step divine transformation boss in half in a huge lake. 16 days later, in a volcano, he visualized the real fire of the sun, and the blazing golden flames burned the half-step divine transformation of the Fire Feather clan to death. So far, he reached around the 5 great spiritual realms. All the strong aliens were beheaded and killed. He ignored the remaining aliens from Nascent Soul and Yuanwu realm. These aliens, just handed over to Li Ziye and Wu Tonghu, have been promoted to the realm of the Peak of Kings. One of these two is in charge of the Demon Slaying Division, and the other is in charge of the Elimination Division. Both of them are extremely powerful, comparable to the Tianjin of Nascent Soul 5 6th stage. If there are aliens above Nascent Soul 7th stage, then you can summon Dezhong and other golden men. 2 years passed. Dajin's luck skyrocketed. It has reached the early 20,000. Among the 12 golden men, one was born again. With a human face and a bird body, Zanming, the patriarch of the rain with 2 green snakes on his feet. These 8 recovered golden men, accompanied by more than 20,000 luck. Cultivation base also directly reaches Yuanwu Tianjin realm. 8 golden men form an array, enough to rival half-step divine transformations bosses, and even kill them. Alien races below half-step divine transformation can be killed with ease. Where else can he make a move? Next, it's time to get ready to advance to the spiritual realm and be promoted to the great domain. Li Yu's eyes were shining brightly. The master of the spiritual realm is not particularly rare in the great realm. But the lord of the great domain, that would truly be a legend. There are several ancient great emperors, who are the lords of the great domain. Such existence, that is the real great emperor seed, which can go to the legendary Gedai Tianzhao who is fighting for the throne. CBCA, with his current strength, it has been able to break through the limitations of the spiritual domain, the monstrous domain. But break the spirit domain and advance to the big domain. That will definitely attract the attention of many large domains. Moreover, the limit of the world of the great domain will directly reach an astonishing level. He is just planning to prepare now. It's not about getting promoted right away. If he now promotes the Dajin spiritual domain to the great domain, then the divine transformation venerable will definitely come and kill him. Not to mention the night demons and the empty road. There are so many other alien races that the divine transformation venerable will strike and strangle him. They don't need to care about the master of the spiritual realm, but the lord of the great domain. The venerable of the divine transformation late stage will give birth to killing intent. 5 days later, he returned to Dajun Lingyu. Pass the news to Li Daosu, and let him arrange to kill the monsters and eliminate the aliens to suppress the surrounding aliens and monsters. At the same time, bring back the corpses of the monster race and the alien race. Fill them all into the demon cave. The demon cave, which is under the ground of the two yamen of the division of killing monsters and the division of eliminating differences. Bottomless. Li Yu turned into a beam of light and entered it. In the demon cave, there are a large number of formations, layer upon layer, more than hundreds of layers. This is a place of great importance. No one is allowed to investigate, and those who disobey the order will be beheaded. In fact, both the demon-slaying division and the division of eliminating differences are forbidden areas. It's not that the two divisions are staffed, and neither can step in. Not long, Li Yu came to the bottom of the demon cave. A large number of corpses of monsters and alien races were scattered, turning into a mountain of corpses and a sea of bones. There are also many human races among them, all of whom practice Devil Dao in Dajin territory and kill Devil Dao monsters wantonly. It's not a pity that everyone dies. The sea of bones can't be seen at a glance. For 2 years, Dajin slaying demon division and eliminating different divisions swept through the 5 spiritual domains, and even extended their tentacles beyond the spiritual domains. I don't know how much to slay demons and eliminate demons. All filled in this demon cave. Without touching the ground, Li Yu came to the center with a calm expression. There is no sea of bones here. There is only one black high platform. Lying quietly on the high platform was a black as ink coffin. This coffin has no lid. Inside lay a woman quietly. The woman closed her eyes and looked like she was only in her 20s. Wearing a long white dress, with his hands folded on his chest, he looked extremely peaceful, as if he was just sleeping. Wearing red shoes on the feet, as bright as blood. A long black sword lay quietly beside it, just like an ordinary sword, nothing abnormal could be seen. Li Yu stood beside the coffin, looking at the woman in the coffin with strange eyes. 97%. Chapter 290 Rewards for the second stage of the road to longevity. The second phase of the road to longevity has come to an end on return to origin. Li Yu naturally won the first place. And the first reward. High World Exotic Treasure 1, Medium World Exotic Treasure 5, Natural God Body 1, Natural Spirit Body 5, Spiritual Coins, 5 million. In front of you, the woman in the coffin is the only 10 Gundam exotic treasures rewarded. This is the same humanoid exotic treasure as the 12 golden men. It is also a humanoid exotic treasure at the same level as the 12 golden men. Moreover, the 12 golden people are divided into 12 people. But this humanoid exotic treasure is only one person. It's still a lot worse. Li Yu looked towards the bottom of the coffin, where there was a very faint streak of blood. At this moment, the blood bar has only reached 1/3 of the way. This humanoid exotic treasure can be revived only when it is completely gone. Just like the 12 golden men. It takes great luck to recover. The humanoid exotic treasure is not only rare to the extreme, but also extremely precious, and extremely powerful. The recovery requirements are also extremely difficult. But according to the information that was sent at the beginning, this heavenly maiden should be able to drip blood and turn into an incarnation, and walk out of the coffin. Quote. He whispered to himself. That's right. The woman in the coffin in front of me is the legendary goddess Ba. It is recorded in Poetry Dia Yunan, Drought Demon is cruel, like burning. The Book of Songs, Kong Shu quoted from the Shen Yi Jing, said, there are people in the south who walk like the wind, and their name is Ba. The country you see is severely drought, and the land is thousands of miles away. The place that Tianbi Ba has passed is thousands of miles in texture. Is the real god of drought. And a real god. If Tianbi Ba is revived, it will be completely comparable to divine transformation venerable. Call. Li Yu looked a little serious. Between waves. Directly took out 4 different fires. It's not fire, it's just fire. That is rootless fire, but it also has infinite uses. The 4 different fires are Wanyao Shinhuo, Lian Xin Shenhuo, Wanling Zhenhuo, and Qinglian Di Shinhuo. The heart fire of Wanyao showed a strange green color, as if it contained the figures of thousands of monster races. Lian Xin Shenha is blue, pure and sacred. The true fire of all souls is also green, but it looks vibrant. Qinglian Earth's core fire crimson, the temperature is the highest, distorting the nearby air. With Li Yu's majestic true essence surging, 4 rootless different fires were forcibly fused together, crackling. Go. Li Yu pointed. Immediately, this strange flame that fused 4 kinds of different fires suddenly fell into the coffin and enveloped the goddess Ba. Boom. The 4 color different flames were burning blazingly, extremely violently. It seems that an unpredictable terrorist explosion will happen at any time. After all, this is the flame formed by Li Yu's forced fusion. But only for breathing. The 4 color flames were absorbed by the goddess Ba through the mouth and nose, and disappeared. Then a drop of blood flew out from the mouth of Tian Nuba. This drop of blood has a red gold luster, extremely magnificent. Fall to the ground. Directly turned into a woman. The woman is exactly the same as the goddess Ba lying in the coffin. Eyelashes fluttered slightly, eyes opened. Boom. Terrible fire rushed out, as if it was going to burn everything in the world. This anger is extremely violent. It was as if everything in front of him was about to be blown to pieces. Wearing a long blue dress, classical and cold. Black hair shawls, fair skin like the first snow. His eyes are shining like stars in the sky. Looking carefully, it seems that there are endless flames hidden deep inside. A terrifying aura filled the air, and the surrounding space was distorting. NBBA pays homage to the Lord. Tianbi Ba looked at Li Yu and knelt down on one knee. Her voice didn't feel violent at all, it seemed very calm and gentle. It's like the calm before the storm. Peace of mind. Half-step divine transformation. Li Yu's eyes flashed, and she was quite satisfied. 1/3 of the progress. The avatar transformed from a drop of blood essence by Tianuba actually has a half-step god transformation realm. And the terrifying talent with Tian VBA. The real strength is probably already comparable to divine transformation venerable. Compared with today's 12 golden men, the strength is much stronger. This actually is not to say that the 12 Jinren are not as good as the Tianbi Ba. It was the luck of the Dajin dynasty, which did not fully display the power of the 12 golden men. But Tianu Ba is different. This is the divine transformation, once fully revived, the true divine transformation. The blood essence clone, with realm of half-step divine transformation, is completely normal. Asking for flowers, just like the Ibemo he killed before. Also the clone of the divine transformation boss, cultivation base is also in the half-step god transformation realm. Free gift, he said. Thank you, Lord. The goddess Ba stood up. She is slender, only about an inch shorter than Li Yu. Calm your anger and follow me out. Li Yu ordered. The place that Tianbi Ba has passed is thousands of miles in texture. If he doesn't subdue his anger, Wang Chengyang will suffer a severe drought. And even if the anger is restrained, if Tianbi Ba stays for a long time, it is estimated that there will be a drought in Wang Chengyang. So, he didn't plan to keep the clone of Tianbi Ba in the capital. My lord, in the small courtyard, the first head of the Monster Slayer division, Mist Tong, came from outside and bowed in salute. This goddess, who was born from the petrification of a god, has a cold temperament and an expressionless face. It's just that when he looked at Tianu Ba again, the pupils of his eyes shrank. From now on, Nuba will be the deputy head of the Monster Slayer division. If you cooperate, you will surely block the Yaozu from Dajin. Li Yu spoke. Yaozu. This is a generic term. All non-human creatures belong to the monster race after cultivation. For example, spiritual plant demons, god-petrified demons, and common tiger demons, arc demons, snake demons, wolf demons, etc. As for those humanoid creatures that do not belong to the human race, it belongs to the alien race. For example, night demons, sea cows, fire feathers and so on. Certainly, Yaozu is also a foreign race. It's just that within the human race, the two will be viewed separately. 2 huge groups, the Yaozu and the alien race, were formed. Wudong and Nuba saluted. Neither woman had an opinion. Although Nuba's avatar is far stronger than today's Wudong. But Nuba could also faintly see that Wutong was not simple. After all, it was transformed by a breath of the legendary inborn Holy Spirit. And Wudong could also see the horror of Nuba. Stand by. She could feel that all the anger in the world was condensing, it was extremely terrifying. Go ahead. Li Yu waved. The 2 women saluted again, then turned and left the soil. 97%. Chapter 291 Open the Great Emperor Scroll. After the 2 women leave, Li Yu beckoned gently, and a leaf fell from a verdant tea tree next to her. The leaves fell into the teapot in front of him. Another spring water flew from not far away, and also fell into the teapot. Flames burst out of thin air. The fragrance of tea is overflowing, and there is a strange feeling that makes people feel like a head. Enlightenment tea, Julingquan. It's indeed an exotic treasure in the middle world, and the tea brewed can be called the best spiritual tea. Li Yu chuckled, sitting leisurely in the gazebo in the courtyard, drinking Wu Dao tea with great enjoyment. This enlightenment tea tree, Juling Spring Eye. Naturally, it is also rewarded by the longevity road. 5 pieces of medium world exotic treasure. Except for these 2. 3 more. 1 is the only policy. This is also the treasure of the 853 dynasty, which can make the king of the dynasty canonize the land only. What is a land only? Mountain god, water god. It's just the land. This is also a different kind of deity. It's just that except for the lifespan comparable to divine transformation venerable, the strength is far inferior. The second one. It is a dark strategy. This is also the supreme treasure of the dynasty, allowing the lord of the dynasty to confer the title of Yin god. What is Yinshan? Land, city god, black and white impermanence and so on. It is Yin god. The Yin god and the earth only cooperate to form a complete Shinto system. For the dynasty, its importance is beyond doubt. Like now, if it is within the territory of the Dajin dynasty, there will be Yinshan and Digi everywhere. There will be no shelter for any monsters and ghosts. There are mountain gods in mountains, river gods in rivers, city gods in cities, and land in villages and towns. The entire Dajin dynasty will be covered by another set of gods. Everything can't be hidden from the eyes and ears of the Yin god and the earth. Dajin's control over the place will be strengthened dozens of times. However, the establishment of the earth and Yin god system did not happen overnight. Candidates for earth and Yin god also need to be screened slowly over a long period of time. After all, the earth and the Yin god have a long lifespan once they do evil. So compared to cultivating practitioners to do evil, you have to look a lot more in your eyes. It is still being laid slowly. And the third medium world exotic treasure. It is a training camp. This is real training camp. Inside, you can train a very special type of troops called White Tiger. This kind of fierce rider only needs to get out of the training camp. It is the strength of Divine Palace. And this is just the strength that has just been born. Once you experience a lot of killing and absorb a lot of killing intent, your strength will increase very quickly. Upgrading to the 7 souls realm is not a problem. Even in the future, it is possible to upgrade to the realm of kings. The king of a legion is terrifying to think about. It's just that the strong white tiger is strong. But there are many difficulties in training. For example, you need the soul of the tiger demon. Tiger-like soldiers are also needed. Only with both can a white tiger be trained. More than a year, the demon-slaying division slays demons and eliminates demons in large numbers. But the scale of White Tiger's fierce cavalry is only about 3,000 people. But even though there are only 3,000 people, but the embryonic form of a peerless and powerful army has gradually emerged. These 3,000 scale White Tiger fierce riders. Not long ago, I killed a demon king with 9 transformations. The strength is strong. Amazing. Once the scale reaches tens of thousands, surrounding and killing Yuan Wu Tianjin is probably not a problem. This is the most special army in Dajin today. The 5 medium world exotic treasures rewarded by the first prize of Longevity Road. In addition to Enlightenment Tea Tree and Julingquan, I can only affect individuals. The remaining 3 pieces. For the dynasty, they are quite shocking treasures. It's a pity that I don't know how long it will be until the next Longevity Road opens. The reward of the Longevity Road is too eye-catching. Li Yu drank Wu Dao tea and whispered to herself. As for the innate divine body, he gave the eldest grandson of the 4th generation, Li Yongchen. Half a month later, Li Yu came to the edge of Dajin Lingyu. In his hand, there is a scroll. It was the scroll that was exchanged from the trade interface back then. Contains an imperial text. The power of the God transformation realm is required to unlock it. And now, open the eyes of the real dragon in the sky. Li Yu can also display the true power of divine transformation. Nature has the ability to unblock. So he wanted to see what kind of amazing things were contained in this scroll. The Supreme Great Emperor, even if it's just the Emperor when left behind. If it can be learned, it can also exert a shocking power. Arrange a corner of the Great Emperor to kill the formation. then it is completely possible to suppress and kill the divine transformation venerable with these. This is an extremely astonishing treasure. Let's see what is hidden in this scroll. He whispered to himself, and opened his third eye between his brows. Immediately, a bright and terrifying divine light burst out from the hole. A real dragon is entrenched between the eyebrows, the might of the dragon is vast, and the might of the sky is surging. His eyebrows are really dragon. It is bestowed by heaven and earth, and controls the power of heaven. He guessed. I am afraid that even among the legendary true dragons, it is also an extremely special existence. Boom. As the light between his brows fell. Immediately, the purple picture scroll in his hand floated in the air. The Emperor Wen also slowly lit up. After lighting up, Li Yu immediately knew the information and function of this imperial inscription. This is the word, seal. It can seal the sky above and the 9 nether below. It can even seal all creatures and all energy in the world. Nothing can be sealed without 3.9. It is the fundamental embodiment of the seal. What a strong text. This text contains a lot of information and knowledge. Even if it's just the word, seal, it belongs to a peerless martial art. Li Yu was secretly startled. This is Duan. A single word is comparable to a peerless martial art. Boom. Suddenly, the word, seal, slowly disappeared. And above the sky, there are also large swaths of dark clouds gathering, lightning flashes and thunder, and billions of thunderstorms. It's as if a true thunder god is about to come down from the sky and kill everything in the world. A terrifying coercion descended from the sky. Even as strong as Li Yu. Also feel a kind of pressure. This pressure not only acts on the body, but also acts on the soul. 98%. Chapter 292. The Strange Thing in the Great Emperor Scroll. Ding. Your family's martial art, 83 cuts, observes Emperor Wen. If you understand something, you can comprehend the first cut, Feng Tiandi. At this time, a message suddenly popped up in front of Li Yu. And in the mind, a lot of information also emerged. Seal the sky with one knife. Seal the land with one knife. Seal the world with one blow. A series of incomparable sword lights flashed across the sky in his mind. Faintly, it seems that there is a great emperor standing on the top of the 9th stage, with his hands on his back, spraying sword ray in lotus. Every sword ray falls, will seal one side of the world. The creatures in the world are naturally also sealed. What a terrifying martial art. Seal the sky and the earth, everything is sealed. Li Yu was shocked, and light flowed from both eyes. This cut seals the world. It's incredible. It can actually seal the world. This has completely surpassed Yuanwu level Wangpin martial arts. It's even more terrifying than the 3rd level of death. He took a deep breath, with joy on his face. He has obtained this, 83 cuts for many years. But there was never initiation. No news was revealed either. Let him think that this martial art is probably dead. Did not expect. Unsealed the purple picture scroll today, and suddenly realized the first cut. This is an incomplete imperial technique. Created by the ancient great emperor. Although incomplete, but also absolutely terrifying. It can become a whole card. He murmured in his heart, quite happy. Looking at the purple picture scroll in front of him, his smile was restrained and his expression was dignified. Billions of thunderbolts billowed in the sky, and the coercion became more and more terrifying. This is no longer the coercion from Dajin Lingyu. Rather, it comes from the great world outside the Dajin spiritual realm. What does it contain? It actually caused such a change. His brows twitched a little, feeling a little startled. I felt that I unsealed the purple scroll rashly. Did I do something wrong? In case some peerless monster jumps out. But it's over. But I have seen it with the eyes of a real dragon, there should be no danger. He whispered softly. The real dragon's eye has infinite uses. This is a gift from heaven and earth. Containing a real dragon inside, it has supreme power. Whether a thing is dangerous or not, you can get the answer just by looking at it. Before he unblocked, he had seen it many times with the real dragon eye. But neither got a sense of danger. So I decided to unblock it. But at this time, thunder bursts from the sky, and the might of the sky is vast. He couldn't grasp it again. Could it be that some peerless monster was really sealed? He turned into a ray of light, stepped back 100 miles, and watched carefully. The word, seal, on the purple scroll slowly disappeared. The whole picture scroll was completely opened. A purple vortex slowly emerged. As soon as the purple vortex appeared, the thunder and lightning on the sky suddenly roared. A purple thunderbolt suddenly smashed down like a shocking rainbow. Boom. The whole world seemed to be split into two halves by this shocking rainbow. The gorgeous light came out, just like a round of scorching sun falling into the world. Click. The purple picture scroll was struck by the thunder that contained the power of heaven and earth, and it was instantly wiped out. The thunder fell into the purple vortex and disappeared in a blink of an eye. With this, thunder disappeared. It's like opening Pandora's box. On the sky, the vast thunder like a mountain fell down, as if the sky was falling. The sight was quite terrifying. Completely illuminate the entire Dajan spiritual realm. I don't know how many people flew into the air and looked at it dumbfounded. What a terrifying power. Li Yu retreated several times, directly retreating thousands of miles away. Her heart was shaken to the extreme. The thunderbolt before made him feel extremely dangerous. And now, the mountain-like thick thunderbolts fell, each one gave him the feeling of death. If he was struck in it, I am afraid that it will be directly chopped into coke. What is sealed in the purple scroll? It actually attracted such a terrifying thunder from heaven and earth. He felt a little nervous. I thought I might have been too optimistic before. This is very similar to the scene where the big monster is born. As for the great monster who can be associated with the ancient great emperor, is there any need to say how terrifying it is? I'm afraid they can annihilate a group of divine transformation venerables with just one breath. Click, click, click. Under the bombardment of terrifying thunder, the purple vortex seemed to be unable to support it, and cracks spread out. But in the blink of an eye, a finger bone that was as black as charcoal suddenly flew out of it. And the moment the finger bones flew out, the purple vortex couldn't hold on any longer, and was directly blasted into pieces by the thunder, before dissipating. With the flying of the pitch-black finger bones, the dark clouds on the sky swept wildly, forming a huge and terrifying vortex. The boundless and endless thunder flashed. Boom. The shocking thunder turned into a mountain and struck down. The whole world seemed to have turned into a thunder purgatory, and the thunder-like spirit power was completely berserk. A phalanx. Li Yu was in a daze. Is this something sealed? Could it be the finger bones of some great monster? But the next moment, his complexion suddenly changed. Because he saw that coke-like finger bone actually flew directly towards him. FK. Opening his mouth and cursing, he turned around and flew towards the wild mountains without any hesitation. 267. The speed is fast. It directly turned into a ray of light, and crossed dozens of mountains in an instant. And he is fast. The scorched phalanges were not slow either. He chased after him thousands of miles away. The dark clouds on the sky also moved, and thunderbolts struck down without any money. The mountains were completely destroyed. The thunder smashed down, hitting the scorched phalanx and directly shattering into pieces. The scattered thunder fell to the ground, and the mountains were vaporized and disappeared instantly. What rocks, strange beasts, and ancient trees are all thinner than paper and can't be seen in a blink of an eye? Why are you chasing me? Li Yu's face turned green. No matter which direction he ran, the scorched finger bones would turn accordingly. And the dark clouds on the sky followed closely. More importantly, he found that the scorched finger bone was faster than him. It was thousands of miles away before. Now they have run within 999 miles. I'm afraid it won't take too long. We'll be caught up. And with his bones, he was struck by the terrifying thunder in the sky. I'm afraid it will be wiped out in the blink of an eye. What the hell is it? Didn't the real dragon and Sky Eye check that there is no danger? Is this called no danger? He really wanted to pull out the real dragon between his eyebrows and beat him violently. 98%. Chapter 293. Bring a big gift to the night demons. All the way north. Across the mountains, the rolling thunder continued, and a road more than 10 miles wide was plowed directly from the north of Dajan Lingyu. A full 10 days. Li Yu is running north. In 10 days, he turned into a light and ran a distance of more than 40 million miles. This is more than 60 million miles away from the sulfur flame domain where the night demons are located. Li Yu turned into a twilight, and he whispered to himself. Ran for 10 days. He is also used to it. He had decided 10 days ago. Take this billowing thunder directly to the sulfur flame domain. He also has another task, which is to destroy the night demon tribe's lair. For him, this task will definitely take several years before he can start to complete it. After all, among the night demons, there is a big venerable with divine transformation middle stage. Extremely terrifying strength. He is absolutely no match, and can only wait for the cultivation base of the family's descendants to improve and develop first. But this time, when I opened the purple picture scroll, I thought I could get some kind of treasure. Unexpectedly, an inexplicable phalanx popped out, chasing him with monstrous thunder. He simply went to the sulfur flame field. Give this rolling thunder to the night demons. Anyway, the sulfur flame domain is filled with alien races. It is not a pity to die. If possible, he even wanted to flatten the sulfur flame territory directly, so as to get rid of several major scourges. But this is just a thought. If you can level the night demons, that's fine. After the divine transformation of other races got the news, it would definitely not be useful anymore. They are all divine transformation bosses who know how to fly into the sky and escape from the ground. Seeing him coming, fixed and ran away. It was only the first time that it was able to surprise and destroy a foreign ancestral land. Boom! The scorched finger bones on his back flew across the sky, and his speed was slightly slower than 10 days ago. That's why Li Yu was not chased for 10 days. But it was within 800 miles of him. Rolling thunder fell. He could feel the somewhat chaotic thunder spirit power hitting his back, arousing aura. Rumble. The mountains collapsed, and the thunder rolled, which lasted for 10 days. All the way north. Along the way, countless strange beasts, demonic beasts, and monster races were annihilated into ashes under the rolling thunder. Even several times almost rushed into the mortal realm and spiritual realm. It is also necessary for him to see it far in advance and turn directly. Otherwise, charge in with this rolling thunder. I am afraid that many human races will be annihilated. This is not what he wants to see. In his heart. Alien races, monster races, no matter how many people die, it is not a pity to die. But the human race is different. This is his kind. As long as he is not an enemy, he naturally does not want to see death. Non my family, its heart must be different. That's what it means. Boom, boom, boom. In the blink of an eye, another 10 days passed. After flying for more than 40 million miles again, Li Yu's face turned pale. Although he is really strong. The Taizan Tiansheng divine chapter is also extremely miraculous, and it can be called an unparalleled method in the world. But after flying at full strength for 20 days, more than half of his true energy has been consumed. This is still the magical result of the Taizan Natural Gods chapter, which keeps running on its own and constantly absorbs the supplements of spirit power. Otherwise, he would have run out of spirit power long ago. As strong as divine transformation venerable, it can be called a real god. It is also necessary to steer the airship across such a long distance. It is rare for a practitioner to fly in the form of light. It's a pity that the speed of the flying boat is still slower. Otherwise, how comfortable it would be to sit on the flying boat. He said with some regret. Back then, Yi Qingtian and Yi Zongxuan were the divine transformation venerables of the two night demons. However, an extremely advanced airship was left behind. It's a pity that the speed is still not as good as his full flight. In this scene where the thunder is rolling and chasing after him. A slight difference in speed is a fatal thing. Not very far. I hope the bosses in the divine transformation middle stage of the night demons will be more powerful. To die with the finger bones of this unworthy son of man. He looks forward to the middle stage. The speed seems to be a little faster. 5 days passed in a blink of an eye. Li Yu's complexion lost a trace of blood, and only about 10% of her true energy was left on her body. But there was joy in his eyes. Because far away. He has already seen a vast domain. The sulfur flame domain. The monstrous spiritual light soared into the sky, even if they were separated by more than 1,000,000 miles. He can still see the sulfur flame territory stirring up the wind and clouds in all directions, absorbing the infinite spiritual history of heaven and earth. Look from a distance. It was as if a continent suddenly appeared above the desert. That astonishing aura is extremely attractive to any living being. It's coming soon. The lair of the night demons is in the southeast of the sulfur flame territory, and it is the overlord of the southeast. It's in line with my direction. The weather in the great domain is indeed far from what the spiritual domain can match. Quote. He was in high spirits and was a little faster. In the spiritual realm. The strongest cultivation base that can only support the limit of the king. As for the level of strength that can be displayed, it depends on the individual. And in the big domain. At least it can support the cultivation base of divine transformation limit. Divine transformation limit. Compared with the king limit, there is a gap of 2 big realms. Blowing the divine transformation limit can annihilate the limit of countless kings. In the spiritual realm, a power with a few kings can be called a top power. And in the big domain, Kings are not qualified to start a school. It can only be regarded as middle-level cannon fodder. If you are not careful, if you offend someone, you will be wiped out without a place to die. Only nascent Seoul Tianjin and Yuanwu Tianjin can shake. But also be careful. Don't offend those orthodox disciples. This is the gap. An astonishing gap. Good lord. Boom. Li Yu turned into a light and rushed directly into the sulfur flame field. Immediately, the rich spirit power surged in and was refined by the Taizan natural god's seal to supplement consumption. This directly lifted his spirits. Finally feel the feeling of replenishment faster than consumption. In the wild mountains, all consume more than replenish. And in this sulfur flame field, spirit power is abundant, far better than the wilderness, replenishment is naturally consumed every day. But it's still much worse than the spirit power of my Dajin King City. He whispered softly to himself. Far away, a huge sacred mountain appeared in his vision. Although still separated by hundreds of thousands of miles. But it still looks majestic and majestic. There. It is the ancestral land of the Night Demon clan, the Night Demon Mountain. Also Li Yu's destination. Night Demons, I brought you here. He felt relieved. 98%. Chapter 294 Thunder Strikes, Bombarding the Night Demons. Night Demon Mountain. This is one of the forbidden areas of the Sulfur Fire domain. As one of the top 3 groups in the Sulfur Flame domain. The Night Demons are powerful and rule a large territory. The Sulfur Fire domain is divided into 9 regions. The masters of the southeast region are the Night Demons. Although it only rules one area, its size is larger than 10 spiritual domains. The richness of spirit power, the variety of heavenly and mortal treasures are far beyond any spiritual realm. Now, the top of Yemishin Mountain. In a purple temple, an old man sitting in the lotus position suddenly opened his eyes. He frowned. Do not know why. He had a feeling of trepidation. This feeling, since he was promoted to divine transformation middle stage and became venerable. I never felt it again. Even if I went to the 100 Clans battlefield, I didn't feel it. After all, he has never met those venerables of the late stage of divine transformation. What happened? How can I feel this way? He whispered softly. Recently, it can be said that things are not going well with them Night Demons. The demise of Yi Qingtian and Yi Zongxuan can be described as traumatic. Even if their Night Demons belong to one of the 3 top groups in the Sulfur Flame domain. But 3 10,000 years ago suffered heavy losses and almost wiped out the family. 3 10,000 year time. Haven't recovered yet. The number of divine transformation and divine power venerables in the clan does not exceed 10. Losing 2 people at once is naturally a heavy loss. In addition, on the battlefield of 100 clans, 2 more divine transformations were attacked by the human race, almost fell, and suffered heavy injuries. At least one has to cultivate 100 years to recover. Yubamo, a member of his tribe second only to him, had his avatar destroyed and his spirit traumatized. All kinds. There is no such thing as a good thing. And now, he felt this palpitation again. Naturally, his heart was full of haze. I think most likely, maybe another divine transformation guy is in big trouble. But as time goes by, this feeling of heart pounding is getting stronger and stronger, so strong that he can't fall into practice again. He finally stood up and walked out of the temple. Prepare to summon the divine transformation and divine power venerable in the family. See what's going on. CBBC. But he just walked out of the temple. Suddenly his face changed, and he looked towards the southeast in shock. Far away, vaguely, there were dark clouds overwhelming the top, billowing thunderbolts fluttering like billions of silver snakes, forming one piece and smashing down crazily. And this dark cloud is still heading towards their direction of the Night Demon God Mountain. Although because the distance is too far, he didn't have a clear sense of the intensity of the thunder that filled the sky. But just looking at it made him shudder with fear, and he had a sense of reality. What's this? He horrified, while at the same time, streams of light also rushed from everywhere. It fell on the ground and turned into a divine transformation named Divine Transformation. There are 5 in total. 3 Divine Transformation, 2 Divine Power. The Night Demons were originally 9 Divine Transformation Venerables. But 2 fell, leaving only 7. Another one sits in the 100 Clans battlefield, so naturally there are only 6 Dings left in the clan. Old Ancestor, a man named Divine Transformation and Divine Power Venerable all looked solemn. Apparently, they also saw the rolling dark clouds and thunder in the distance. Yi Shenlang's complexion was cloudy and uncertain. As the leader of the Night Demon clan, he was analyzing crazily in his heart. Withdraw, withstand. Although the rolling thunder is still far away, the induction is not very clear. But he could also feel. It is definitely the power of heaven and earth at the level of divine transformation. Open all the big formations. If something is wrong, evacuate directly. Heart's demon, go and have a closer look. What is going on with this dark cloud and thunder? Yes, Patriarch. A divine transformation venerable nodded, turned into a light and disappeared. Above the sky, Li Yu has already cast a hidden talisman to hide her figure. Coupled with the thunder rolling not far behind, hundreds of millions of thunder thundered down like mountains, and the fluctuations were astonishing. The effect of his hidden talisman has been enhanced. Even if it is the divine transformation venerable, as long as the distance is not too close, they will definitely not be able to find him. After all, there are turbulent thunder spirit powers all around, and the perception of divine transformation venerable will also be weakened too much. Far away, Li Yu saw a ray of light coming across the sky from Yemishan Mountain. Has divine transformation come to investigate? There was no change in his complexion. This is something that has long been thought of. The night demons will definitely send someone to investigate. I hope that piece of divine bone will make your hearts burn with greed. He whispered in his heart. That piece of scorched bone probably had an astonishing origin. After all, it was sealed in imperial script. Those who can master the imperial language. Even if it is not the real ancient great emperor, it must be a shocking existence at the quasi-emperor level. Then wait for the existence to pull out a hair. For divine transformation venerable, it is also a peerless treasure. Not to mention the specially sealed phalanges. He will bring rolling thunder. It was impossible to be surprised. So I've already thought about it. Let the scorched finger bones arouse the greed of the night demons and bring about their own destruction. The night heart's demon turned into a ray of light and stopped on a mountain peak. He looked at the scorched phalanx covered by infinite thunder with shock on his face. He lost his voice completely. What is this? How could it attract such a terrifying power of heaven and earth? Treasure. Absolutely a treasure. There was shock in his heart, but also ecstasy. As a divine transformation venerable, he had never seen anything so terrifying. To be struck by endless thunder. Didn't think much about it. Seeing thunder approaching, he directly turned into a light, and headed towards Yemishan Mountain. The speed is much faster than Li Yu. So wait for him to return to Night Demon God Mountain. Li Yu is still tens of thousands of miles away from Yemishan Mountain. But after that divine transformation went back, even more glaring formation light lit up the Night Demon Mountain. Apparently the Night Demons don't plan to evacuate, but plan to attack. Steady. A smile appeared on Li Yu's face. The real dragon eyes in his eyes opened. Misty light enveloped him. His body rushed directly into the Night Demon Mountain. Those layers of large formations seemed to not exist in front of him. And soon, scorched black finger bones rushed. The billowing thunderbolts smashed fiercely on the formation of Yemishan Mountain like the power of Tiantian that destroys the world. Immediately, the formation light flashed. One formation after another couldn't resist, and was directly blasted out. Terrifying might. It made countless Yimo tribe members in Yimo Shen Mountain turn pale and tremble. 99%. Chapter 295. The night demons are destroyed. Amazing phalanges. Definitely a phalanx that exists at or above God King. Yi Shenlang looked a little excited. There was such a treasure that suddenly appeared in front of him. This is a sign that the heaven wants him to have a great prosperity of the Night Demon clan. In myths and legends, any existence that can attract treasures will definitely make a great deed. Or your own cultivation base will skyrocket, break through the big realm, and suppress all enemies in the world. And now, he felt that he might be like this existence. The rest are divine transformation, godly venerable. They are all dignified and feel happy. The phalanx was slashed by such a terrifying thunder, without any damage. Visibly strong. And at the same time, Li Yu who sneaked into the Night Demon God Mountain by relying on the effect of breaking the formation of the real dragon Sky Eye. But without any hesitation, I found an empty immortal cave, and Lotus Position sat at the entrance of the immortal cave. I looked at it leisurely. I don't know if this rolling thunder can smash the Night Demon God Mountain. If you can kill a few divine transformation and divine power venerables, it will be perfect. He said expectantly. As for the real extermination of the night demons, it is impossible. Just be greedy. Facing death, the divine transformation venerables of Yekuzu will definitely jump. Just run away. You can basically escape. But the foundation is gone. Afterwards, he took the rolling thunder and plowed down the cities of the night demons again. It is estimated that it is almost the same. Even if the clan is not exterminated, it will also be thrown into trouble by other alien races. There is still a possibility of genocide. The night demons are alien to the human race. For other ethnic groups, it is also a foreign race. The human race is also a foreign race to other ethnic groups. There is no situation where the major alien races unite and only compete for the human race. In fact, all major alien races, many of them are hostile to each other and kill each other. It's just that there are many human races, and there are many strong ones. So some alien races will join forces to fight against some things. Rumble. There were bursts of thunder, and the charred finger bones were extremely mysterious. He actually passed through the formation of Yemishan Mountain step by step, and wanted to rush towards Li Yu. But a ray of light flashed. The night demon tribe is headed by Yi Shenlang, the big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage. Directly form an encircling circle, surrounding the scorched phalanx. At the same time, Yi Shenlang's eyes flashed with divine light, and the magic power in his right hand surged violently, turning into a shrouding the heavens big hand. Grab directly towards the charred finger bones. Ban. And the rest are divine transformation and divine power venerable. Then cast the imprisoning supernatural power, cooperate with Yi Shenlang, to imprison the charred finger bones in place. Suddenly, sitting cross-legged at the entrance of an immortal cave watching, Li Yu suddenly widened his eyes and stood up. He looked at the charred finger bones in surprise. At this time, the charred finger bones actually hovered in the air. But it shone with an astonishing purple light. The purple radiance flowed, and a woman's figure was faintly formed in the air. The woman was dressed in white, with a dusty temperament, cold eyes, and a faintly discernible sword in her hand. It was as if a fairy had come to the world. It gives people a feeling of incomparable holiness and elegance. Suddenly, the woman swung the long sword in her hand. The hazy sword ray seems to fall from the sky, dazzling and gorgeous. In a flash, it slashed at Venerable, a night demon god. Sword ray was completely submerged into the body of this divine power Venerable. And the next moment, the supernatural Venerable remained silent, his breath dissipated, and his body fell from the sky. Such a scene. Make Yi Shenlang, Yi Beimo, Yi Heart's demon and other night demons' divine transformation Venerable shrink their pupils suddenly. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. It also horrified the large number of night demons watching the battle below. Slayed a Venerable with one sword. Li Yu was also feeling cold in her heart. What is the origin of this charred finger bone? Could it be that he is really a peerless sword fairy? A hazy figure that manifested slashed Venerable with one sword. Horrible. If it's the deity, I'm afraid I don't know how strong it will be. And the phalanx left by such a terrifying existence. To keep chasing after him. What do you want? The more he thought about it, the more uneasy he felt, and he didn't dare to continue watching the battle. Want to escape directly. Escape. Yi Shenlang is very courageous. Asking for flowers. Seeing that hazy sword fairy beheaded a divine venerable with a single sword. In addition to being horrified, he quickly yelled. At the same time, the body turned and ran without hesitation. As for the huge palm he swept out before, has been silently annihilated. It's as if there are billions of invisible sword chi around the phalanx. Yi Beimo and Yi Heart's demon are not slow. Even before Yi Shenlang opened his mouth, they turned around and ran for their lives. Clang. Somewhere, there seemed to be a sword sound. It seems that there is nothing. Above the phalanx, the hazy sword fairy showed no expression on her face, and once again slashed out with her sword. It was still an invisible sword. This sword appeared in an instant, and disappeared in an instant. Not far away, the body of Yi Shenlang, the divine transformation middle stage big venerable of the night demon clan, suddenly froze in the air. His face was full of regret. In a blink of an eye, there was no breath, and the body fell from the air to the bottom. The big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage. Fall. Boom. There was a loud bang. The layers of large formations on Yemishan Mountain were also shattered under the sudden skyrocketing power of the thunderbolt. The rolling thunder crazily enveloped the sword fairy. And since this scene, the hazy sword fairy looked deeply at Li Yu. The meaning of the eyes seems to be to tell him not to run away and not to harm him. Then it disappeared instantly, and the charred finger bones continued to rush towards Li Yu. Will not harm me. I believe you, ghost. Such a terrifying thunderbolt. I'm afraid that if it hits me, I will be wiped out. Li Yu's scalp was numb. Turn around and run. He dare not bet. If the bet is lost, he died straight away. Rumble. Hundreds of millions of thunderbolts fell. The entire Yemishan mountain turned into dust in a blink of an eye and disappeared. On the Yemo mountain, there are hundreds of thousands of Yemo people. They all fell under the rolling thunder. Even if there are a large number of nascent soul and Yuan Wu Tianjin among them, they are all ants. Only the 4 night demons, divine transformation and venerable, who fled in all directions stood in the air, dumbfounded. 99%. Chapter 296 Trample. Death of the Night Demons. Ha, he caused the thunder. Damn it. Damn it. The vitality recovered by my Night Demon clan in 10,000 years will be wiped out in one day. Ah, it's the Lord of the Spirit Realm. As Li Yu rushed out of the cave, she turned and ran. I don't know if the hidden talisman on his body is due to the time being up, or because the vague sword fairy glanced at it. It doesn't work at this point. So his body was completely exposed to the eyes of the 4 night demons, divine transformation and venerable. See Li Yu's figure. Then I saw that scorched finger bone chasing wildly behind, with rolling thunder. Yi Beimo and Yi Heart's demons' eyes were tearing apart, and they let out a roar like a nighthawk crying blood. Their eyes were full of hatred and killing intent. Went out. The ancestral land of their night demon clan was destroyed. 10,000 years, the accumulation of generations, the 553, are all destroyed. Although in the sulfur flame domain, there are also many clansmen. But most of the elites in the clan are concentrated in the Night Demon Mountain. At this time, once the day is destroyed, almost 80% of the middle and high-level powerhouses of their entire Night Demon clan have fallen. It's too tragic. Compared with the previous 10,000 years, it is not much worse. If people sit at home, disaster will come from heaven. Kill him. Yi Beimo, with disheveled hair, stared at Li Yu who was going away, screamed, and turned into a purple light to chase after him in an instant. For the rest of the night, Heart's demon and the other 3 followed behind without any hesitation. 4 escaping lights span the sky, brilliant and eye-catching, with murderous intent shaking the world. Feeling the breath, Li Yu glanced back hastily. Suddenly some scalp numbness. FK. Patriarch, why did my hidden talisman fail? 4 divine transformation chased and killed. What kind of experience is this? There is also a section of mysterious and unpredictable phalanx on the back, carrying billions of billowing thunders. Bang. 4 chase and 1 escape. The speed is extremely fast. Li Yu also recovered a lot before, and directly used a new martial art acquired in the past 2 years. Boom. A golden flame rushed out of him, condensed directly on his back into a pair of golden flame wings. The wings are radiant and colorful, and the moment they take shape, then his speed skyrocketed a lot, no slower than Venerable of Divine Transformation early stage. This martial art is called Tianluo Wings. It is a high-grade flying martial art of Yuanwu level. 2 years of diligent self-cultivation, self-mutation. It has become a flying martial art of Yuanwu level king grade. This martial arts has no other function, it is fast. As for the weakness, it is also obvious that the consumption is large. After all, it would cost a lot to condense purely true essence into a pair of wings. He didn't dare to use it in the wild mountains before. The consumption is too amazing. But now being hunted down by 4 divine transformation venerables, he has no choice but to use it. Do not use this martial art. His speed is not comparable to the real divine transformation. Nowadays, his Li family has mastered a lot of martial arts. And most of them have transformed to the level of Yuanwu level kings, shocking the world. Attack. 3 death forms, 27th stage Baoshan Yin, 9 arrows shooting the sun, Tianlong wonderful sound. Amplification techniques include, the Emperor stepped on the sky. Pupil surgery has, Diva spirit pupil. In addition, there is also the incomplete Emperor art of Beatty's 3 cuts. It can be said that it has been armed to the teeth. Tianluo's wings spread out, Li Yu's speed skyrocketed, and instantly turned into a stream of light and went away. It directly separated a large distance from the scorched phalanx, and it was still moving away. However, the scorched phalanx was not in a hurry, and always at a constant speed, chasing after him. Shortly after, a city appeared not far away. This is a city built in a valley. The city is extremely huge, much larger than the royal city of his Dajin dynasty. This is the largest city under the rule of the night demons, living with a large number of night demons. There are also some small groups that are close to the night demons, and even people who are close to alien races. Stop it for me. Damn humans. Kill him, kill him. The 4 Night 100 demons behind them. Seeing Li Yu rushing straight towards the Night Demon City, they all screamed in fright and anger, and Yazi was about to burst. Night Demon Mountain has been destroyed. Is it possible that Night Devil City will also be destroyed? A touch of fear welled up in the hearts of several people. There are 80% of the elites in the Yemen Mountain. Then in Night Demon City, there are also 10% of the clan elites. Night Devil City is not destroyed. Relying on the strength of the 4 of them, plus the 10% of elites scattered in Night Devil City, there is still hope for them to rise again in the future. But if Night Devil City is also destroyed, several people's faces were extremely anxious. That time 10,000 years ago, their Night Demon clan was also wiped out by 80% of the strong. The remaining 20% strong, 10,000 years of development, reached the current level. But today, their Night Devils probably lost more than 10,000 years ago. Li Yu didn't stop, and rushed directly over the Night Magic City. As long as his line is straight, then the rolling thunder following behind will completely cover and completely destroy the Night Magic City below. Heart's demon, you stay, immediately disperse the people in the city. Yi Beimo gritted his teeth, his eyes extremely resentful. But he had to calm down and ordered. Behind the billowing thunder, at most a dozen breaths will descend. There is simply no time to dismiss all the clansmen. We can only dismiss some nascent soul in Yuan Wu Tianjin. Even possible, not much can be dismissed. After all, time is too little, too little. Not long. The scorched finger bones flew across the sky, and the billowing thunder destroyed all living beings. The entire Night Magic City was struck by thunder and completely annihilated, as if it had never appeared before. I will kill you, I will kill you. Yi Beimo howled. His heart was bleeding. This way, already 6 cities have been destroyed in 3.1. Deaths people are in the millions. This is the population they managed to recover with great difficulty. In the southeast region of this sulfur flame domain, their night demons also only have 15 cities. More than a third of them have now been wiped out. Did you ever think about today when you regarded our human race as blood food? Li Yu looked calm and said coldly, "Call." The golden wings on his body fluttered violently, and suddenly swept across a semicircle. Let him turn around and charge towards Yubamo. As for the other 3 night demons, divine transformation, they have already dispersed to evacuate the remaining cities that have not yet been destroyed. They have prepared for the worst. I will definitely kill you. Seeing Li Yu flying upside down, Yabai Demon's eyes showed endless and terrifying killing intent. 99%. Chapter 297. Emperor Wen's on divine transformation. Go back to get treasure. The black and white Taiji diagram floated at Li Yu's feet. A black magic knife appeared in his hand. As for the amazing Tianlong scissors, he didn't take it out. In his current state, he can't use it even if he takes it out. The real yuan required is too large. I regret that I didn't kill you last time with a great loss of spiritual sense. As a result, you are left as a scourge. Yi Beimo gritted his teeth, and small purple spears appeared around him, floating in the air. He shot out a large piece of purple air with both hands, which transpired in the air and turned into a sea of clouds. The sea of clouds surged. Suddenly, a sky-reaching palm stretched out from the sea of clouds. Grab Li Yu fiercely. This is the supernatural power he possesses. Purple Sky Claw. It is also one of the strongest supernatural powers of their night demons. Actually, in their amazing physique, the eyesight of the ethnic group, Shandao or martial Dao, there is no strict division. So although he is divine transformation venerable, the supernatural power he displays is more like martial Dao supernatural power. Li Yu 21 is expressionless. He has flying black hair. Seeing the palm of Tongtian sweeping towards him, his brows slowly opened. Immediately, the extremely terrifying Longwei and Tianwei were vast, and a bright divine light shot out. Faintly, it was as if the chant of a real dragon resounded through the heaven and earth, shaking. In the legends, true dragons are immortal beasts. It has never appeared in the world. Even the ancient great emperor was still looking for such fairy beasts. But there is no legend, which ancient great emperor, really chased thick to the immortal. This is a powerful creature that shouldn't appear in the human world. Boom. The divine light is like a horse training, more like the heavenly sword descending from the 9 heavens. It's so gorgeous. The divine light slashed across the huge palm directly. Immediately, the entire palm was cut off and shattered into nothingness. Boom. Shengguang rushed into the sea of purple air clouds. The sea of clouds churned violently. Then it exploded. Yi Beimo immediately took a few steps back, his face paled a little. He looked horrified and couldn't believe what he saw. Real dragon. Legendary real dragon. Is that a real dragon? And the opponent's strength, how could it become so much stronger? Last time, when his clone was fighting with each other. The opponent still needs to use the terrifying treasure to kill his clone that reached the God Transformation realm. But now, he is the real one. Existence at the peak of Divine Transformation early stage. Far stronger than creatures who have just entered Divine Transformation. Before he can figure it out, a cold and ruthless shout suddenly sounded again. Seal up. In view. In an instant, it was covered by a vast expanse of white knife light. A huge and ancient and unpredictable word, seal, appeared in the air. He didn't know the word. But just seeing this word, one naturally understands that it is a word, seal. The word, seal, is empty, exuding endless and terrifying power. The whole world was suddenly tightened. Endless pressure came from all directions. As if at this moment, he was suddenly rejected by heaven. Emperor. 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 Emperor Wen. His eyes widened and he screamed in horror. He has never seen Di Wen. But this kind of ancient characters that contain endless power can only be the legendary imperial script. There was fear in his heart. Who is the other party? Scary treasure. Suspected to be the third eye of a real dragon. Now there is another emperor. Could it be that this is the direct descendant of the great emperor family? Destroy. And at this time, Li Yu took out the Tianlong scissors. Driven by true essence, the head is twisted like a scissors, and the tail is twisted like a strand. Click it. It doesn't take much effort. He cut off the head of Yabemo who was sealed in place. And the head was cut off. The soul of this night demon strongman at the peak of the divine transformation early stage was cut to pieces. Until death, ye 100 demons are all under seal. Although the word, seal, won't seal him for long. But even if only for a moment. Also decided life and death. With one move, the knife cuts through the water, and the soul of Yi Beimo is cut into extremely pure fragments. Then Li Yu put away the other party's storage ring. Is this a cut of the divine transformation venerable head on? A smile appeared on his pale face. Beatty's 3 cuts are extremely terrifying. But the consumption is also astonishing. No less than Tianlong cut. But the combination of the two is really a perfect match. With his normal strength, that is absolutely impossible to match Yi Beimo. Although now Li Daosu and others have been promoted to the 7th level of the 7 Soul Realm. Make him stronger. But it is impossible to compare with Yi Beimo. But Beatty's 3 cuts and Tianlong's scissors cooperated, so that Yi Beifu was killed without any resistance. This is the power of a powerful martial art that is already a powerful treasure. At the same time, this also gave him a strong vigilance in his heart. Today, he used such means to kill Yi Beimo. Tomorrow. Not necessarily no one else wants to deal with him in this way. Those 3 night demons were scattered everywhere. A strange light flashed in Li Yu's eyes. He waited for a moment. Seeing the scorched black finger bones and the vast thunder coming, it turned into a ray of light and went away. However, he made a big circle with rolling thunder. He went in the direction of Yemishin Mountain again. The accumulation of 10,000 years of night demons. He has not forgotten. Those divine transformation venerables didn't even have time to take them away. I certainly haven't been back now. Even the body of the strongest night demon divine transformation middle stage boss is probably still there. This is my trophy. I have to accept it. He muttered, looking forward to it. I don't know how many 10,000 years the night demons have accumulated. How rich will it be? I don't know to what extent it is necessary to truly destroy the night demons. Able to complete the task. Another question came to his mind. Although there are far less night demons than their human races. But the population is not small. I really want to kill them completely, leaving no one behind. It is simply impossible to do it. Unless the legendary supreme power casts a lore supernatural power like bloodline karma, it is possible to truly stampede out a group of people. He wants to come. The survival system should not require such a pervert. If so, I'm afraid that if you don't advance to the God King level, you will have no hope of completing the task at all. 100%. Chapter 298. Treasure House of the Night Demons. Sword Fairy reappears. Night Demon Mountain has completely become history. Only a piece of scorched black land was left in place, in the shape of an upside-down bowl. Strands of thunder remained, bursting out with terrifying power from time to time. Any existence below the God transformation realm would probably not be able to bear it if they stepped into it, and would be struck to death by the residual lightning. Li Yu stands tall in the air. The real dragon and sky eyes between the eyebrows swept away. Suddenly, a charred corpse was found in a corner. It's a real corpse. There is no trace of flesh and blood, only bones. Apparently, the big venerable of the night demon tribe was beheaded by the sword fairy, and his body fell to the ground. Was washed again by rolling thunder. It has not been completely turned into dust, which is already a superb embodiment of cultivation base. As for the rest of the night demons, then all turned into fly ash, without a trace. Fortunately, it was kept. A smile appeared on the corner of Li Yu's mouth. Wave lightly. Put away the charred large venerable skeleton. There is a Sumeru ring in the skeleton's hand, still flashing a faint gray light. To the God transformation realm. Storage treasures such as storage rings that are refined with the help of space stones are generally no longer used. Instead, use the Sumeru ring directly. Between Chenkin and Sumeru. Sumeru ring. They are all formed by a small space absorbed from the space crack by the divine transformation venerable, breaking the space with its powerful magic power. Not only is it stable and huge, but it can also allow living things to survive. It's a mobile immortal cave. This Sumeru ring, which is made from space, always blends into the void. That's why the rolling thunder didn't smash it into pieces. There is also a treasury of night devils. Li Yu lowered her head, the real dragon eyes opened. Suddenly, the whole world seemed to have changed in his eyes. Visible to the naked eye. The earth disappears. One after another, aura clusters shone like bright lights in the dark night. That aura group is the place where the spirit is located. Among them, most of the aura groups are dimly lit. But there are only 2 auras with a radius of several miles, majestic and vast. Found it. Li Yu thought about it. The whole person turned into a saber light, broke through the ground in an instant, and went to the depths of the ground. He didn't look for the entrance. No time to look for it. Although there was a distance from the scorched phalanx. But it won't be long before the scorched finger bones will definitely rush over, bringing with them the billowing punishment from heaven. A ray of formation appeared in front of his eyes. But Li Yu didn't slow down at all, and the real dragon's eye between eyebrows was still open. Like a fish, he rushed into the formation in an instant, and the formation didn't seem to be touched at all. Rays of formation light emerged. Li Yu sees through all the formation's functions with her real dragon and sky eyes, and passes through with ease. Just 2 breaths. He passed through all the formations and came to a stone wall. This stone wall is circular and extends in all directions. Apparently, this is the inner wall of the Night Devil's treasure house. Good guy, the whole body is made of Jingshuan silver and gold, rich and powerful. Li Yu was a little surprised. Jingshuan silver gold, which is an auxiliary material for the refining of magic treasures by nascent soul Tianjin. It can make magic treasures more resilient, and the effect of carrying magic power is stronger. A caddy is worth thousands of spirit coins. The treasure house in front of me looks like 4 or 5 miles in radius. I'm afraid it doesn't take millions of caddies of Jingshuan silver and gold. Here alone, the value exceeds 1 billion spiritual coins. As expected of a foreign race with a long history. 10,000 years ago experienced a catastrophe, and now it has gradually risen again. This background is really not covered. If you don't directly cut off the inheritance of the Night Demon clan this time, I'm afraid it will take a few 10,000 years before I can recover. He whispered to himself, although this treasure house is huge. But he believes, the night demons must have treasure houses in other places. In addition, there are also a lot of night demon clansmen who are sleeping in various mortal realms. Thinking about these in my heart, his movements were not slow at all. A black magic knife emerged, cutting through the stone wall made of Jingshuan silver and gold like a knife cutting butter. Although there are runes all over it, connect the whole huge piece of Jingshuan silver and gold into one. The divine transformation venerable is here. I'm afraid it will be difficult to break through. However, Li Yu has such a godsend as the real dragon eye. The black magic knife is like a carving. Directly avoided the complicated rune, tearing Jingshuan's silver and gold apart. Soon, a hole appeared. With a flash of his body, he walked in. After about 5 breaths, Li Yu left the treasure house contentedly. Then go to the second treasure house. He just glanced at the treasures in the treasury before pretending to take them all away. There was no time to make an inventory for him. But just a quick glance. He has already seen too many precious materials. There are even several medium world exotic treasures, which are packed in jade boxes, which are quite prudent. Another 5 breaths or so passed. Li Yu rushed out from under the ruins of Yemishan Mountain. Hundreds of miles away, scorched black finger bones came across the sky. Li Yu's face suddenly changed slightly. He suddenly found out. The front part of the phalanx, which was originally scorched black, has turned into a jade white color. This time, he has always been far away from the charred finger bones. The spiritual domain is abundant in the great domain. Every once in a while, he will use his full strength to display the wings of Tianluo. Now was the first time he saw the scorched finger bones after breaking the Night Demon God Mountain. What's happening here? Could it be? His thoughts turned sharply, and he quickly thought of a possibility. This time, destroyed several cities of the Night Demons. The fallen souls numbered in the millions. And Night Demon Wang Nuohao talent is extraordinary, and Martial Master is the weakest. Divine Palace Realm has a high proportion. So he guessed. Could it be that the scorched phalanx absorbed the life energy of those Death Knight demons? Are you recovering right now? Think about it this way. His heart suddenly tightened. Before he recovered, he chased after himself. What happens once it recovers? See the phalanx getting closer. He turned around and was about to leave, planning to think about countermeasures while flying. But before Yukong had time, in the hazy room, a female sword fairy in white appeared in front of him. Clothes are fluttering, 3,000 black hair is hanging down, eyes are cold, looking at him quietly. One hand rests on the hilt of the sword, as if at any time it is possible to draw the sword out of its sheath and cut it with one sword. Li Yu suddenly shuddered. Before this one, he beheaded a big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage with one sword. 100%. Chapter 299 The sword fairy entered my body. Don't compare it with the big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage. Even compared to venerable in the early stage of divine transformation, Li Yu has self-knowledge. He's still a bit short. Being able to compete in strength depends entirely on the real dragon eye or the treasure, martial arts, and supernatural power on the body. Certainly, these are actually part of strength. But Li Yu often uses this as a warning to herself. Lest you get carried away. If you really have that kind of thought, you are not far from death. And at this time, the terrifying sword fairy stood in front of her. How to keep him from feeling numb? A black and white Tai Chi diagram emerged under his feet, and black and white divine lights enveloped him. But even so, he still didn't feel safe. This sword fairy is too strong. The big venerable of the divine transformation middle stage has no resistance at all. Maybe even, I didn't know how I died until I died. Fairy, please speak up if you have something to say. With a rather forced smile on his face, he spoke. At the same time, out of the corner of his eye, he looked at the phalanx and the rolling thunder that were still approaching. I was very anxious. I'm afraid it's not over. Before there was the sword fairy, and afterward there was the shocking thunder punishment. 653. It doesn't matter if it's being slashed by the sword fairy. Still being shrouded in that shocking thunder and punishment. He will definitely not be able to eat and walk around, and there is a high probability that he will die. What to do? Before, he didn't have much feeling for the idiom of a close call. Now, he felt that he was fully in line with the artistic conception of this idiom. Not just this idiom. Many idioms fit. Precarious, at stake, life and death unpredictable. He didn't know why so many messy things suddenly popped up in his mind. Maybe, is it the legendary backlight? Before death, nostalgia for hometown. The center of the eyebrows and the eyes of the sky, except my finger bones. Suddenly, a cold and peerless voice came from the mouth of Sword Fairy in front of him. Just say this sentence. The phantom of the Sword Fairy in front of her fluctuated several times, almost dissipating directly. Except the phalanx, brows and eyes, Li Yu's body shook. He seemed to have grasped something. Could it be possible? The Sword Fairy has been chasing after herself. Is it just to let my eyebrows and heavenly eyes accept the phalanx? After receiving the phalanx between the eyebrows and the sky eyes, will the heavenly punishment dissipate? Eye of the sky, curse. He understood a little bit. That should be the case. Both are from above. One is a gift from God and the other is a punishment from God. It is also reasonable that the real dragon's sky eye can protect the other party. It's just that he wanted to complain. Why didn't you say it earlier? He had to work hard and flee for hundreds of millions of miles to speak out. But he also understands the scorched finger bones that were just unsealed from the purple scroll. It should be the weakest state, unable to condense the phantom of fairy sword. Wait until he came all the way from Dajin spirit realm to sulfur flame realm. More than 100,000 alien beasts, demonic beasts, and monster races were killed along the way. That's why the phantom of fairy sword can only appear on the Yamashin mountain. And now, he also crushed millions of night demons, and even a part of the scorched finger bone turned white. Only the phantom of the sword fairy can speak. But it looks like it should be quite difficult for the other party to speak. Okay. Quote. Looking at the peerless fairy who is staring at a tiger and holding a sword in one hand. What else can Li Yu do? Naturally, he could only agree. If he refuses, he has no doubt that the sword fairy in front of him will chop down with a single sword. Even if you don't hack him to death, it will also be hacked to death. It is estimated that the opponent's phalanx will have to be accepted. Anyway, that's what it ends up doing. Why, CBAC didn't agree directly at the beginning, but only agreed after suffering a lot. Fairy Sword didn't speak anymore. Just standing quietly, with a dusty temperament, as if she were a real fairy above 9 heavens. White clothes are like snow, black hair is like a waterfall, her body is slim and her waist is like a willow branch. Li Yu didn't speak again. He just looked up and down the sword fairy several times out of the corner of his eye. I also have to be amazed in my heart. She is really magnificent, and I don't know what kind of shocking identity is in front of me. Can be sealed by Emperor Wen. There must be a big day. I don't know if it's a real fairy or a witch. He muttered in his heart, a little worried. Although she looks like a fairy, she is cold and peerless. But who knows if it's fake? If it is a peerless witch, it will be miserable. I heard that witches like dual cultivation, in case if you find him to do dual cultivation together. Did he agree? Or promise? It's really troublesome. Soon, the scorched phalanx charged towards the sky with billowing punishment. Li Yu's third eye opened between her brows. He watched helplessly as the scorched black finger bone flashed away, rushing into the center of his eyebrows. And the rolling thunder in the sky stopped immediately. The thunder no longer falls, but dances like billions of silver snakes on the dark clouds of the sky. It seems to be judging whether to chop it down again. Seeing this, Li Yu was terrified. But eventually the clouds cleared. The billowing thunder also dissipated, and the blazing sun shone down, making Li Yu feel quite warm. Call. He breathed a long sigh of relief. Swipe to the side again. The phantom of the sword fairy had disappeared at some point. His complexion changed for a moment. He turned into a ray of light and descended 7,000 or 8,000 miles away. Randomly opened up an immortal cave on an inconspicuous hill. After waving a set of hidden formations, he sat in the immortal cave in lotus position. His face was quite serious. A terrifying sword fairy brought a phalanx between her eyebrows. This kind of scene is creepy to think about. He's going to figure it out now. What is this sword fairy planning? Is it a temporary refuge? Or do you intend to long-term home? It's fine to take refuge temporarily. If you plan to settle down for a long time. There was a haze on his face. Although it seems the other party is an image of a magnificent sword fairy, perfect to an extreme. Make him quite amazing. But I absolutely don't want to have a bomb placed between my eyebrows all the time. If it doesn't explode, it will die, but if it explodes every day, people will die. Call. All of his mental energy are condensed into one body, instantly entering the true dragon eye. Body, instantly entering the true dragon eye. Body,